good evening, good morrow, and good day, and welcome to the 10th session here on Slice and Dice. Nearly got put off there, James. Close. Next time, maybe.
I'll try.
Maybe. Anyway, yes. So we've been doing 10 sessions now. We're into double figures. This is big boy times now. All growing up. Anyway, first of all, if you haven't done so already, you can catch up on all the latest episodes throughout this campaign. That's all 9 that have happened so far. The most recent episode is still up on our Twitch channel, so you can watch that back. Or as well, all of the episodes from the very start are on our YouTube channel, and there's a link to that just at the bottom of the Twitch page. So click on that and watch to your heart's content after this stream, obviously. So, for today's session, before we go ahead, a few announcements. First of all, we are down to 3 players this week. There's no Marta, there's no... there's... What? Sorry, guys, but put you on screen. As you can see, there's no Marta, there's no Marshall, and there is no Dan. But there is a DK, there is a James, and there is a Bart. So, you know, it's still just as good to join us this week. They'll hopefully be back next week. We shall see. As for other announcements, Fake Dice, we've got a few slots left on Fake Dice. Good catch, guys.
I didn't do it.
On the microphone. I'm going to come back to that one. There we go. Let's get that. While you guys sort that out, that's fine. So there's a few entries left on Fake Dice. All you need to do to enter this is use the hashtag Fake Dice. We want your suggestions on apocalyptic events, random encounters, and anything else.
How do you stabilize this?
We'll sort that out momentarily.
On the feet.
Yeah, we're basically apocalyptic events, random encounters, and anything else that you think would be nice and fun. And once we have 20 suggestions, gonna at one point during the session roll the dice and see which of those 20 suggestions comes up to change the world that our players are inhabiting. So yes, get those in with the hashtag Fake Dice. Yeah, I think that's it for announcements. Let's jump in with today's session. Okay guys, so to recap on last time and what went on now that everything's working and fine. We can tilt you down a little bit.
All I can see is my head now, and you guys fully.
There you go.
Yeah.
Little technical things there. Anyway, so last time you guys finally left the Basilisk Cave after exploring it pretty extensively. I think there's only 1 or 2 little bits that you may want to go back to later on.
Like the Wall of Diamonds. Yes,
yeah.
Yes, we want to go back to the Wall of Diamonds.
That is one of the things I had thought you might want to go back to. So anyway, you left the cave through the secret exit. Marshall says, Baba Jamma. Thank you. And Tiny James. But it's not so tiny now.
I have more than a head now.
Yeah. You're looking more wholesome. Anyway, so the group left the cave via the secret waterfall exit, which you managed to find, and basically on the trail of the seeming abductors of the ambassador, the Lady Helene Grenforth. Carried along through the foothills on the edge of the Ratgarret Mountains for quite some time following this trail until you came across some boulders in the road, and after some inspection found a body of one of the captors there. Again, it appeared to be somebody from one of the houses of the Crowflies, and this raised suspicions amongst Tinan and Turin, the 2 dwarfs who were charged as bodyguards to the ambassador who got left behind, that perhaps one of the great families of the Crowflies, namely the Rookwoods, may be behind the abduction. You then came across a stone guardian of sorts that was not taking kindly to your presence in the area, asking you who sent you, and not receiving the answer it wanted, told you to leave. However, after some encounter with animated boulders crushing some of you, but managing to keep everyone alive just about, thanks to your cleric and others, spotting the symbol of the 8 upon the Loxodon Malar's person, this stone guardian then said that the 8 be with you, and something about he was waiting for his lady, which maybe drew some suspicions that It could be an embodiment of one of the 8, and namely one of the 4 goddesses, perhaps. That was the school of thought with that. Anyway, you carried on following the trail, which ended up coming out at a familiar location, back on the Rack Valley Road, and not far away from Flaming Jak's Bar and Grill, where 2 of you met for the first time. With some hesitation from one of you, you ended up going back to the inn. But this time you were told to enter through the rear entrance, as a word has gotten around, along with wanted posters and all sorts, particularly for you, Seth.
Stop emphasising that.
Just particularly you. Especially you was mentioned a couple of times.
But anybody else? Just you.
Yeah, just you. General descriptions of everyone else and the supposed thieves of the Stonebreaker. And so the bouncer, the half-orc bouncer, asked you to go around the back, and you went into the cellar through the cellar entrance. There, Jackman Candlecorn Winklebottom made a proposition to the 6 of you that he'd let you all stay for free if you were to take care of his rat problem, as the rats you'd cleared the first time you were there were only sort of cutting the edge of the problem. It appears there's a nest further in a as yet undiscovered cave underneath the inn. So it's a hidden entrance which I think Malar came across all that time ago in session 1. So there you go. So
Callbacks.
You all decide. Full circle, man. Wheels within wheels.
All the memories.
All the memories. You remember the good times with the rats. Anyway, the 6 of you then decided to bed down for the night and had to, using Leobrin's cunning image of a coat rack in a kind of Scooby-Doo fashion, managed to get through the bar unnoticed as they were distracted by performance. And went up to your rooms to rest for the night with only Fleeting Look and
Definitely
Seth.
need to watch last stream.
You need to watch that, yeah, it's good. You can catch up now on our YouTube channel. Yeah. Anyway, so with Seth and Fleeting Look being the only ones who stayed down in the cellar to guard the entrance to make sure no rats came out before you bedded down or up, in Fleeting Look's case, for the night. And
You don't need to know what that means.
Need to watch
You don't need to know what that means. No one needs to know what that means.
Nobody needs to know what that means.
I'm just saying, is Fleeting Look Batman?
There's something
There's
in
a
there.
theme there.
There's something in there. Anyway, so we join you guys in the morning, and so Brucon, when you wake up in the morning, so you took the right-hand room. There were 3 rooms to choose from, which Malar and Leobrin decided to go in the left-hand room, as Malar was familiar with it. That's where he stayed before.
This is such friendly music.
It
Something's
is.
got to
It's
go
so
wrong.
disconcerting.
Yeah, I'm afraid. I've
Putting
never
them
been
on edge
this
with nice
afraid.
music. That was me putting some nice music on it and getting on edge.
Yeah, we're terrified.
It's like you know me. Anyway, so Brucon, you wake up after restful sleep, peaceful sleep on not as comfortable as the inn you stayed in Half Rage, but it's not halfway bad here at Flaming Jak's. It's it's a bed and board for the night. So you wake up with the sun shining through the window, but that's not really what awakens you. The noise that actually awakens you is just the clinking of chainmail, and you open your eyes to see a familiar dwarven figure just putting on his armour. Hello, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to wake you. My brother and I saw that that you were in this room, so we thought, well, if it's good enough for 1 dwarf, it's good enough for 3, so we stayed in here. Hope you don't mind.
Brucon holds out a single finger and just doesn't make any noise, just and starts looking around the room for any kind of like a teapot or some sort of a drinking vessel or anything he might use to basically. I'll TLDR it. Brucon, not a morning guy. Was a cause of some tension at the Barkfang Monastery because monks, generally speaking, big on early morning contemplation.
Yes,
Brucon, not so much. So there was some culture clash there. So as part of his morning routine, which he places very high on the priority tree,
Sure.
is having some sort of refreshment. If it, a steaming hot beverage of some kind would be ideal.
Okay.
But failing that, some cold water to splash on the face, just anything to help him sort of emerge into the land of fully conscious.
Sure.
So anything jumping out.
So is this looking as in looking
Literally
or
just scanning the room with his eyes.
Make a little perception
to
check.
start with, at the very least. Perception. Okay. That's an 11.
11. Okay, so just scanning the room. It's not particularly well adorned. There's only a couple of furnishings. You've got an end table next to the bed. You've on either side of the bed. You've also got a wardrobe at the end and a mirror hanging on the wall, and that's pretty much it. There doesn't look like there's tea or coffee making facilities or the or the medieval equivalent within this room. However, that's not to say that there's not going to be anything served down at the bar.
Okay. Where is does Brucon have sight of his travelling pack?
Yes, it's where you put it before you went to sleep.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go ahead and assume that he would have, as it's got all of his kind of worldly possessions, such as they are, because of course he is a monk.
Yes.
He's not necessarily the best monk, but he is a monk.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go ahead and stipulate that he would have kept his explorer's pack pretty close to his bed.
Yep.
So I'm going to say that he reaches into it, rummages around, pulls out a leather flask. In his kind of like bleary state, we'll say that maybe a false start or two, possibly a coin purse gets picked up at some stage, but eventually on attempt no more than number 4, he is successfully able to achieve his goal of splashing liquid into his own face to wake him up.
In fact, it's in attempt number 2.
Number 2.
There you go. Roll for it.
Okay, so love it. Thank you, Gamble. May your blessings last forever. Anyway, so
splash what's left of your water skin on your face.
So just and then does a little kind of routine, does the old Mr. Red Horse kind of with the old shaky lips routine, which I personally just love doing. Anyway, so goes through all that. He's now vaguely awake, more conscious than not, and looks again and just goes, "When did you get in here?"
Well, we were in the bar for a few hours of the evening. In fact, we were just wanting to not only to scope out the place, but to gather some information as we would, to see if perhaps the lady had been, in her form had passed through here with some Republic guards and the like. I'm afraid I didn't find anything useful, although I think my brother was talking to a certain lady for quite some time.
Midway through the statement, Brucon kind of half stands, half rolls out of bed and starts doing sort of calisthenic style stretches and stuff.
Just casually doing his not ablutions, but
worm rises to greet the sun. That sort of
yes,
half yoga, half am I hungover? I'm not sure.
The hungover salutations to the sun.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So, but while being giving as much indication he's paying attention as he was before he started.
Still holding the conversation despite doing the stretching.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, my brother was talking to a lady for quite some time. Apparently, she's from a village not far away, following the trail. So I gathered there was a spot of bother there, although. I didn't gather much more than that. I was just overhearing. I saw him talking to, a human lady, a quite attractive lady. And I thought I'd leave him to it. He doesn't like me cramping his style, So I thought I'd retire for the evening, and then I came in here. I saw you take the bed, so I was here on the floor. There's nothing to worry about there, especially with all this equipment. I mean, the spear, the shield, it's going to get in the way,
Yes, they do that. Do you happen to know anything at all about breakfast?
Well, I think my brother went down a bit earlier. He may have gone and fetched some breakfast for himself. I'd assume they had some down at the bar. They were certainly serving some food last night, that's for sure.
Fantastic. Whatever, all that other stuff you just said sounds amazing, but...
Oh, well, thank you.
But let's have breakfast. And Brucon just kind of gets up, throws all of his things into the pack in a sort of 16-year-old packing for his first ever Duke of Edinburgh expedition sort of fashion of just, here's a bag, here's some stuff. I'm sure if we introduce these to one another, the problem will resolve itself.
Yeah.
Sort of style. Throws it on his back and goes, breakfast, and just strides out of the room.
Okay, so as you stride out, because of the positioning of the rooms up on the first floor, on a kind of mezzanine, you can see down into the bar below from as soon as you open the door, pretty much. And as you do so, you do see one figure that you recognise already down, just sitting at one of the round tables. Just a small kind of table for maybe 3 people. Just sitting down there, you see the white blonde hair of your elven companion down there already. Other than that, there is one other elf in the bar with a kind of a militaristic garb, kind of hair tied in a top knot. She seems to be twiddling her thumbs a bit, just to one side, occasionally making notes in a book. Other than that, there's just the gnome out behind the bar that you recognise, the innkeeper, Jackman. Other than that, the bar is pretty empty at this time.
Okie dokie. Brucom surveys the scene, weighs up his odds. Temperamental magical elf or uptight military elf? and makes a beeline straight to the gnome.
Good morning. Hello.
But Brucom just does a kind of loud, enthusiastic morning. This combination of facts, they don't work for Brucom. They don't suit his needs at all. So he suppresses it because aggressive violence first thing. Also maybe not what he's here for.
Yeah.
Shudders and just says, "I need food."
Well, of course you can. What sort of thing did you have in mind? We've got some bread, some cheese, some pork. I believe we've got some of that Iscan herbal tea that we can brew for you, if that sounds of interest.
Yes, that all sounds spectacular. Let's make all of those things you just said happen.
Marvellous. Well, would you like all of those things? There's the pork, the cheese, the bread, and the...
Sure.
We
I've
certainly
been
are a hungry
I've been on the
dwarf.
road for several days now. And
of course, I'm aware of the company that you keep. I trust you slept okay in the night.
Yeah, wonderful. The food though.
Of course. So for a loaf of bread, a hunk of cheese, a fat chunk of pork, alongside some of my Iscan herbal tea, that'll be. Let me just do the maths a second. For you, sir, let's say that's an even 5 silver pieces.
Brucon just goes. No
that
maths.
Includes the service charge.
Brucon just goes no maths, only food, and just drops a gold piece on the side.
Oh, most generous customer. Yes,
Brucon and economics is going to be a fun ride, ladies and gentlemen.
We call it Bruconomics.
Bruconomics because he has joined an ascetic order, having been raised filthy rich. He has no idea what money is worth. We're just going to lay that out here right now. So yeah, gold piece on the bar, magic. You make the magical food things happen. Let's keep this going to its logical conclusion.
Of course, yes. Right away. and he takes the gold, pockets it, and hops off the bar down to the kitchen. Meanwhile, downstairs. Meanwhile, I've got to say actually.
No, you don't need to read any of them out.
Okay.
No.
Drake Larus being, I'm here to see a man about a dog. It's brilliant. But actually, that does lead me on to Seth.
Speaking of dogs,
so you were sleeping, trying to guard the entrance to the to this sort of cave cavern entrance you found within the cellar, and you positioned yourself so that you were keeping an eye on Fleeting Look as well, because you don't entirely trust him. You were saying. I
said like after him to stay down to help me guard. I went to go get the bed in order, blinked, and he's above me, sleeping, dangling from the ceiling.
Yeah, he waited until you fell asleep and then he moved.
Yeah.
So when you wake up, can you make a wisdom saving throw?
Wisdom saving throw for waking up.
Start as you mean to
Roll,
go on.
roll for jump scare.
19.
19.
Nice.
Okay, you wake up and but you manage to contain yourself as the you were taken somewhat by surprise by the turquoise curled horns of Fleeting Look dangling over you as he's managed to attach himself to one of the timbers
Can
above.
it just get to the point where it's been like 5 fleeting moments, then after that it's no wisdom saves, just like I just expect
You're
it.
just used to it. Yeah. To be fair, I think after this one you may be expecting it more. So
He's your Cato. Inspector Clouseau, Pink Panther. Not
So
now
I wake
Cato.
up.
So you wake
I
up,
wake up, yeah.
and he's there hanging above him, and
Is he staring
you were
directly
startled,
into
but
Seb's
he's
eye?
still asleep at this point. Well,
That's how I would have
I'm
just
going to spend at least sort of like just
Just put it
30
on
seconds
the
staring, going, what
what's most
is he doing?
what's most disconcerting is that his eyes are open because he sleeps with his eyes open.
Yes.
I'm going to, as quietly as possible to not wake it up. I'm gonna get off the boxes and gonna check to make sure nothing's gnawed through it throughout the night.
Okay, yeah, sure. Make an investigation check.
14.
14. Okay, so from looking just around the barrels, when you rearrange them and kind of push them aside, you can see there has been some scratching on the opposite side to where you were sleeping.
Okay.
Towards the entrance, it looks like maybe some small rodents have been trying to get in. You can't tell if any have got through at this time, but it's relatively clear. You do notice though, with a 14, wasn't it? You do notice there are a few sort of breadcrumbs and bits of food also around the floor in that area that you see the scrabbling as well. It looks like either they've come through or gone back, but with food as well, like they've been taking stuff.
Okay, so they were able to get in a little bit, or they...
Perhaps some small ones were you.
Okay.
No giant ones. You definitely don't see any of those.
Yeah, I was gonna say I probably would have noticed the giant one waking us up.
You would have noticed that
But,
for sure.
Cool.
You would have
so-
failed the wisdom save on that, I would say.
Yeah, so with that, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna leave Fleeting there asleep, hanging the rafters. The rats can't jump up to him.
Sure.
I'm just going to position the barrel back in front of it and start to make my
You're
way.
ruling out you're eliminating, are you, the possibility of a tower of rats?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm safely eliminating that chance.
Okay.
I don't think safely is your
Yes,
mate,
you're gonna
but
say.
you know, whatever.
So I'm going to start my way up. Going to stop on the stairs and do a double take of Fleeting and then go back upstairs.
Back upstairs. As you take the take to the stairs, you remember the quite unsettling dream that you'd had and the voice that you'd heard in your head, the deep
Could you
rumble.
repeat?
I can't remember exactly what they said, but it's.
Sorry.
But you don't. Okay, I'll tell you what. Make a history check, and then you can see how much of it you can recall.
History. That's Marta. I'm going to struggle
Marta
with 2
check.
sheets. 15.
15. You do recall something about that you're close, that you're back where you belong, and it was like a voice that was beckoning you to return to it.
If this works out that I belong at Flaming Jak's and we're going to spend a lot of time here, there's going to be some flames.
It's not a voice.
I'm in charge of Marta today. There's going to be some flames.
It's certainly not a voice that you recognise. It's not one that you've ever come across in your life. It's had a deep, resonating, haunting quality to it. It made you unsettled just hearing it, and that's one of the main
More
things
or
that
less
permeates through the
unsettled
dream.
than seeing Fleeting?
Less. I'm sorry, more unsettling than seeing Fleeting currently.
Okay.
So anyway, you make your way up,
Yeah.
up the stairs. Just gonna walk
So
straight on through.
I'm going to find Jack to tell him that nothing's come through in the night, but there were claw marks on the barrel, so I'm going to try and find Jack.
Easy enough. When you open the door from the cellar, you're in the kind of a side room, just out from the bar, so you can just go straight out to there. And you actually see him scurry past. And go, oh, hello! I've just taken an order for one of your companions. Can I get you anything for a breakfast today?
Yes, where can we get that? Last time you had some bread and cheese.
Yes, sir. Right, of course. Would you like the same again?
Yes, can we have that, please?
Of course you can. I was going to put on a brew of this Iskun tea I've recently had delivered. Would you care for some as well? Your friend
No,
has already ordered a pot, so...
No, I think I've already woken up enough of a startle, so I'm awake for today. I'll be fine.
Startle, were there more of those rats in the basement, or...?
So we've blockaded it throughout the night. There's some scratch marks on the other side. So they did try and come back, but they couldn't come through. So we'll take care of them today.
Okay, well, that's excellent to hear. I'd much like to put the grain back down in the grain store rather than littered around the back of the bar, but never mind. Okay, well, so, if a loaf of bread and a hunk of cheese, that'll be 2 copper and 1 silver, please.
Of course, I'll pass that through.
Thank you very much. Excellent, right. Right away, another order. And he disappears into the kitchen, leaving you clear to get to the bar, should you need to.
Yes, I'm in way towards the bar. Who's carrying the bar? Is it just
So
Brucon?
at the bar is Brucon. You also see Neris is sitting at a table, and although she has a somewhat glazed expression half the time because of her teenage ways, just kind of thinking about other things, she looks pensive, looking down at the table, little bit edgy. You know, not quite as edgelord as Seth, because Seth knows how to be edgy, but, you know, she's looking pretty edgy.
What a burn!
He's just a shifty kind of
What type of
roguey
burn was
type.
that?
It's not the kind of burn that Neris would administer.
on that note, I'll go to join
Zing.
Brucon at
By
the
the
bar.
way, Edgelord.
Way.
Gonna go join Brucon at the bar.
Alright.
Sit there and wait for breakfast. Guess that's in the morning.
Brucon just goes, and just continues with the consuming.
I'll sit there and wait for breakfast to come, yeah.
Within moments, the breakfast is brought out to the two of you, served up, and then a nice sort of metal kind of got that Oriental vibe teapot, the kind of teapot that I've requested for my birthday this year. Pops up on the bar.
Look, man, I'll get round to it. Okay? I don't know what. You really didn't need to drop the reference.
That's okay. It's already been taken care of. Yeah. It's all good. Anyway, but yeah, that was really nice.
Follow us on Patreon, by the way.
We haven't got a Patreon yet. We should do that.
Yeah.
We should do that just to get teapots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Brought out to the bar to the two of you. Malar, could you make a perception check for me with advantage because this is using your trunk?
Have you woken up?
I think we're about to find out.
I think this might be a.
Let's find out.
His trunk.
It's going to be 14.
14. Your elephantine trunk detects the kind of smells of cloves and lemon and citrus fruits. It's kind of spices, spices that remind you of home, and you gracefully awaken to find Leobrin at the very bottom of the bed in a very small corner, just curled up in a ball in a very clean-looking corner of the bed.
So,
That is actually what it sounds like. Yeah.
as I look over and get off the bed, does he look? So he's not got any covers on him, right?
Sorry?
He's not got any bed covers on him.
He's not.
No.
under
Just
a
on his
duvet.
cloak.
No, he's just on his. He's got his cloak over him.
Does he look cold? Like maybe I should put a blanket on.
Would you like to put a blanket on him? Is
Well,
this
if
what
you
you're
look-
angling towards?
If I think the temperature in the room would require that, then yeah.
Given your background and you're kind of used to this temperature, but you're quite a stocky individual, whereas this half-elf is rather slight in comparison. He does look, a little bit on the cool side.
I just pick up the blanket, just put it over. There you go, buddy. And I sort of, because I've just come
I hate
in
you so much.
collapsed. I'm just going to pick up my pack and go downstairs.
He's a cleric. He's the caring one.
I'm waiting for our viewer number to drop by 1 as Marshall rage quits.
Undermine the dignity of my position.
So yeah, get yourself just
So-
open the door.
Go to, and I sort of look. I really survey the bar area. I can see Seth and Brucon and
Yeah.
Neris.
You see Jackman appear with these 2 plates of food and dump them in front of the 2 of them, as well as a pot of tea, and you detect that is what the smell was that you got.
I will go down the stairs and I will take up a seat adjacent to these two. I will say I will go the other side of Brucon.
All right then. Comes out to the bar. You hear so the two of you turn around briefly as you hear the as Mahar trundles down the stairs.
Yeah. Brucon turns to watch with the tea to his mouth and just say like,
Good morning.
and just carries on slurping the tea.
The tongue, the nose
tongue.
sort of just comes over and just. Yeah. Oh, is that Iskin by any chance?
Brucon kind of.
You're so proud of yourself right now.
It is, yes. It's very good.
And is Jack anywhere?
He's just behind the bar, actually. Yeah.
Oh,
Deacon Shade Creek. How are you?
Yes, I'm.
Sorry, I should probably say that a bit quieter, shouldn't I, given the current situation we find ourselves in. What can I do for you?
Well, I would admire part of that tea, and
Of course, yes.
do you have any fruit and bread?
Fruit? Well, not as such. I mean, we used to get good brie in quite a lot, but apparently Half-Rage is they're running a bit short of it. Apparently, we do have bread and cheese. I can see if we've got any kind of apples or fresh pickings. Sometimes they come in.
I would appreciate that greatly. Before you go, you have Iskin tea. I was wondering if he digs into the pockets of his waist jacket. I wonder if you can maybe exchange some of this. Lay out some of the Iskin pentacles from about 4 sessions ago.
Nice.
Yeah, he puts on his spectacles and these like half moon, crescent moon spectacles. Well, it's not really legal tender over here. The Iskin pentacles.
Oh no, I'm looking to exchange. That's why I'm not trying to pay right now. Although
You're trying to exchange money for a product.
No, I'm looking to exchange this money for other money.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were trying to pay with the pentacles. Well, I don't really have much need of Iskin pentacles myself. However,
Brucon, his tolerance for this sort of stuff is pretty low right now. It's higher than it was because
as the tea is held.
Because your tea and stuff.
Malar in the mornings, aren't you? Like, this is going to be so tough.
No, nothing like that. And just flicks. Let's say. I mean, I don't know how decimalised. I don't know how the currency situation breaks down exactly. Like, is it just silver pieces or
gold?
Multiple. I'd like not to pay for literally everything. Is there like a 5 silver coin or something of that description that you might be able to?
What, as in Birkin, or are you talking about these pentacles?
Birkin.
Birkin, no, it's gold, silver, and
So
gold.
it's just one. Each is worth 1 only.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Brucon reaches into a pouch and flicks a couple of silver pieces. He was offered 5 for the whole shebang.
Right.
So he makes a kind of educated / again don't really understand money guess about how much ought to cover the tea, and just kind of does a fling fling and just does a little kind of artful trick so that the coins land like stacked directly in front of the gnome, and goes, give my friend here his tea.
Make a sleight of hand check, so
Cool.
just to see this how impressive this coin
Not
trick goes.
Natural one.
No, it's an 8.
So you like flick the 2 coins, and in your mind you're like, I know exactly what I want to happen here. It's exactly as you described. What actually happens is the first one on the bar, the second one and just rolls agonisingly slowly over the bar before going a little circle.
Yeah. But Brucon's not paying enough attention to know that his
No.
like super slick move didn't
You're still
quite
like
pan
eyeballing
out.
the nose.
So it's just and just kind of pauses again from the slurping of the tea and just goes, give my friend some tea for the 8.
Of course I can get him some tea, so I'll thank you very much. In terms of the pentacles, it's not normally something that I would trade here, but I believe there are certain individuals you can exchange it to. You could try the general store in In Hilberg, yes. Yes, they, the two gnomes there, very good chaps, brother and sister, you know. Yes, a great bunch. Now, they are in the business of exchanging and pawning items, so I'm sure you could get something for your pentacles there.
What was the town?
Hilberg.
Hilberg.
Yes, it's a large village or a town.
B-E-R-G.
Yes, B-U-R-G. Yes, Hilberg, yes.
Always got to be different.
Thank you, Mr. Brucon. That's not the angle I was going for.
You're
but
spotted
I appreciate
instantly with the wooden palisade out the front, you see.
So we're this side, further west.
I take the pentacles back, and
Bread and cheese and some fruit?
if you've got some fruit, I will actually take a loaf of bread if you have it.
Yes, of course.
And yes, fruit if you have it. If not, I will take whatever he's having.
Bread, cheese and pork, yes, of course.
Right.
Advance warning, 50% of session 10 will be spent ordering and consuming and then paying for breakfast.
What a great time to be alive. Alright.
Thank God we live in this time.
So, right, so for that plus the fruit, yes, 5 silver pieces,
I
please.
top up the 2 with an additional 3 silver pieces.
Oh, the most generous offer, although the second most generous to date, thank you very much.
Brucon just go, yeah, whatever.
I'll be right with you. Let me just close off again.
Sorry, what was the Hilberg significance again? Sorry,
It's a large village. There's a general store which you could exchange
Gotcha,
for
right, okay,
pentacles.
yeah.
I need a currency exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 3 of you there, having your breakfast, and just as you get towards the end of it, he's only brought out breakfast to you, and it turns out he actually had some apples, so he does give you a
I
couple of
will
those.
eat the apples. Loaf of bread.
Yep, a whole loaf.
I take the entire loaf of bread, put it in my pack.
Slick, I like it. And you've got some cheese and pork as well.
Cheese and pork, so I'm just
Nibbling on those.
As we sort of start to, as I start to head towards the end of that particular meal.
Mm-hmm.
Thought it occurs to me, fellas. This is our first opportunity to really have a chat since embarking on this job that we undertook together. And Seth, I met and had a chat. But Mr. Brucon, you are something of an enigma to me. You have abilities I've not seen in other people. May I ask where have you come from, and what is your aspiration?
Brucon is sort of eye contact around the mug, and then just kind of and the slurping sound that has been happening more or less continuously since he was first handed the tea comes to an end, and he just sort of plops the mug down on the side of the bar and goes, "Oh, I needed that. Yes, hello. My name is Brucon Ree. I'm a monk of the Barkfang Monastery. I was sent out to develop my understanding of the broader world. I joined the monastery many years ago and was sent out to find my place in the balance. I don't know how familiar you are with the teachings of the Barkfang Monastery.
What, have I actually heard of the Barkfang Monastery?
You would have heard of it,
Okay.
yes. It's in the northern climes of Birikrin.
Oh, I'm aware of the name, but I'm not aware of the concept of the balance, or indeed what is undertaken in the monastery.
Yeah. So Brucon kind of leans back, sort of shuffles a bit, like, okay, I can pretend like I knew what I was taking on some of the teachings in all those lessons I wasn't really following on with, and does a little kind of important shuffle and just kind of, well, if you think of it like this, think of a sandwich. The world is like a sandwich. There's one piece of bread. No, the sandwich thing isn't working. Let me think of.
You hear a shriek from your room, actually.
Oh, goodness!
Who did this? Oh!
Mr. Brucon, would you give me just 1 minute? Upstairs.
Yes, that's fine. I'll work on this metaphor a little more.
I go into the room.
You go in the room. Okay,
Monster
so
and Mortar are going to kill us.
Leobrin is
And they are all watching
in the
right
room.
now.
As you enter, Leobrin is he's pulled his robes down to his midriff, and he is currently throwing water over himself and just trying to clean himself. And you see he's got a bar of soap as well, which is he's just scrubbing just like erratically around himself.
I see this. Close the door. I come back downstairs. Oh, I'm sorry. Something about sandwiches?
Love it. Brewconger, yeah, the sandwich. Forget about the sandwich thing. That's not. That's advanced philosophy in the monastery.
Okay.
Think of it like that. You know seesaws.
I am familiar with the idea, yes, but my frame tends to prevent me from
Okay.
actually,
Think of the world as like it's on a seesaw. One end is sometimes up, and the other end is sometimes up, and when one end is up, the other end is down, and then when the other end is down, the other end is the other end, you see. Not the first end, but the second. It's good and bad, right? It's good and evil, and the two are in tension with one another, and starts trying to draw like a yin-yang symbol, and goes, so the seesaw is a bit, and just starts kind of...
As you start drawing, the door to the inn opens, and you see a familiar red-headed dwarf with a three-plaited beard enter. Oh, well, there you all are. I've been looking on the road and been doing some inquiries, and it would seem that the Lady Helene may have passed through here not so long ago with her followers. I would, in fact, they may have a lead. If we go to the next village on from here is Hilberg. Don't know if you've ever heard of Hilberg.
This is actually useful. I wasn't expecting useful information from you.
a couple of times, yes. Never been, but,
As you say this, you also notice Neris kind of lifts her head up, saying she's just looking over from her table a bit further away, just looking over and engaging and listening to the conversation.
That was one of Teenan and Turin, was it?
That's Turing, yeah. That's
Turin
was the one who's upstairs.
So Turin's the sort of vaguely Welsh one. Teenan
is the more rough
gruff.
Welsh one.
Tyron's the one that had the broken leg, the one that you've spoken to in your room.
Yeah.
Teenan's the one we
Gotcha. Okay.
Teenan is one you hate. I've got an understanding with it.
Cool.
Okay, I think that we should all go with all haste to
I think fleeting side.
to go to Hilberg and see if the lady has been taken through there and we've got any leads from there.
Marshall, on the chat, he says he's going to get revenge.
He's going to get revenge
for that one.
Well, in Venice, I mean, that's more Malar than me, personifying.
The goals and intents there. We'll have that chat.
I didn't know how OCD Leobrin was, but I gathered pretty OCD, so I thought that was a completely natural reaction for him. Anyway, so I would say that with all haste, we should head on to Hilberg.
Oh, well, you see, we have something of an issue there. The rooms we slept in last night were given, well, they were in effect comped to us. We owe Mr. Jack here a task.
Hello?
But, might I advocate this? You and your brother should head on to Hilberg, and we will meet you there, and we will follow on in a few hours' time.
I like Seth just comes in. I like this plan. That is a good plan. I think you guys should go on ahead. Lead the way for us.
I mean, the alternative is that you could wait here while we undertake the task, but...
There could be a lot of rats though. It could literally take all day. I think you should definitely go on ahead. 100%. It's it for the Lady Helena.
For once, Master Half-Elf, I agree with you.
Yeah.
With all haste, we will head on to Hilberg and see what we can find there.
You go lead the way, and we will follow you as you command later on.
If you are too long, I will go on without you.
Understandably.
I agree, but just before you head off, do you believe that this is some sort of a plot against Lady Helene? Maybe something based in the Crowflies? Do you think that could be where the perpetrators are heading?
Well, it would seem in the direction that they are heading, then perhaps. It's that or they're going to Rundar, which is, of course, on the way following the road from Hilberg. Rundar being, of course, the capital of Burican. I don't need to tell you that, Master...
No.
Master Loxodon, but, I think, I don't know, but for sure... The Rookwoods seem to be involved, and if they are, then perhaps, yes, they would be taking the lady back to the Crowflies, back to Rookwood itself. That would be my guess. Anyway, which is why time is of the essence. I will gather my brethren and we will be on our way.
Good luck.
Excellent time.
To you as well with your rats.
Once he leaves the table, I'm going to say, as much as it pains my soul to agree with him, that does sound like a good lead of where she's gone. We should follow it as quick as possible.
I agree, but
I was going to...
maybe just picking up on what Mr. Bruton here has just told me, I do owe Mr. Jak the task.
Oh yeah, I mean, do that first.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Brucon's super coherent explanation of the
Well, it's all about
concept of
balance.
yin and
We've
yin.
taken one thing and we now own
Oh, right.
Seth's going to pull out, was it a wanted poster?
Yeah, there's a couple
Yeah.
I
at
don't
the
want
bar.
to.
I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to say, I was going to suggest that we take care of the wanted posters of us, but it sounds pretty time sensitive. So I think,
Well, are we
I think we
not,
should go.
are we not
Is it
sat
us
at the
or just
bar
you?
at the moment?
yeah, we are.
Well, maybe we should go and speak to Miss Neris about this, and I sort of amble over towards the table to sit with Neris, and I gesticulate to both of you. Maybe we should discuss what everybody's intents are here, because I was all up for assisting you with the basilisk, but that seems to have evolved somewhat into what my task here was, and I would hate to drag you along if you have somewhere to be, Mr. Bruton.
Brucon, I have nowhere to be really. That was sort of the whole point I was trying to get around to. Is my role is to find the nature of the balance in the world and understand it more profoundly. So I'm, there's a lady missing. There's been clearly betrayal. This is all very philosophically illustrative. I'm sure if someone could just explain to me what the philosophical implications are. So no, I'm with you. Please.
Oh,
What?
Captain.
I mean,
What?
No, I mean, Mal's there. He's like,
Yeah, no, you've got that same
Right.
kind of ramble
No,
patter.
Seth's eyes are just slowly gotten wider, going, wait, what?
Neris is just there. Oh my god.
oh,
I'm like, literally as you're still mid-sentence, like, I'm gonna go wake Fleeting up. You wanna get Leobron, and we can discuss what we're doing next.
No need. Hello. Hi.
Good morning, Mr. Leobrin.
Yes,
are you
hello.
well?
I'm as well as I could be. Yes, given the circumstances.
Leobron, you've got a bit of dirt just there in your face. Yeah, you got it, that's it.
Thank you.
Sorry, I have to go.
Yeah, yes. To be fair, let's
How
acknowledge
far-
Drake
How
Lazarus
far
here.
is their destination as the dog dies?
Sorry, I mean as the crow flies. Don't know why I said anything about the dog. Weird.
We don't
It's
need
a
to
whole dog thing.
We
with
don't need
Zeph
to be one of
from
those streams
episodes
that
ago.
acknowledges their chats and when they say things. We don't need to be one of them.
So anyway, yes.
Yeah.
So Leobrin's now up as well, looking supremely clean in his green kind of tunic and the ruff, looking immaculate. In fact, it looks like his moustache has been combed as well, curled.
I'm gonna
style.
break off just a little bit of the harder end of the bread that I've got. Go downstairs and I don't want to wake him up near me. He's gonna fall on me. So just the bit of the stairs, I'm just gonna throw some
The
hard
room.
bit of bread.
Sorry, the rooms are in a cellar.
No, we stayed in the basement to in case that's where the
Oh
rats
right,
are.
there was all the rat stuff. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
We all fell.
So,
So I'm
so
gonna throw
yeah.
some bread, literally just at his head to wake him up.
Okay, so you going from the stairs? You're not going down the stairs.
I'm halfway down.
Halfway
the
down,
stairs.
halfway down the
Leaning
stairs,
forward a bit, just sort of throwing the bread
Stairs?
to the side, going wake up.
So you're halfway down the stairs. You take you pull off a piece of bread and you go to throw it. And as you go to throw it, you hear morning.
Aha. Oh,
And
Where
after
is
a few moments, you see he just starts untying his legs and
Untying his leg.
the sleep of bondage.
And he does a little acrobatic kind of somersault and ends up on his feet on the ground. Right.
I'm going to revise my earlier statement. Fleeting Look isn't Batman. Fleeting Look is Lego Batman.
He is Lego Batman. He's like Lego Batman. A different voice, but yeah.
I'm gonna get your Lego fleeting little Batman hat.
So are we going to go hunt some rats then? Is that the plan?
That's the most he's ever talked. That's a terrible
It is.
feeling.
I'm so sorry.
So,
Going to hunt some rats then?
so I'm gonna say we're talking upstairs. If you want to join us at the bar for breakfast.
Of course, yeah. Out of interest, rats. Do you know what the collective?
Flawless.
Flawless. May our labours please you.
Oh my god.
That reference. Yeah, that's flawless role playing.
Actually, spot on.
That was pretty damn perfect for him.
But yes, he does ask you. Do you know what the collective noun is for a group of rats?
To my knowledge, it's just a pack of rats.
Pack of rats. I'm sure I can do something better than that.
Leave
it with me.
I'm sure you can expand, but.
And he just carries on up the stairs, and he's just and you can see he's just thinking away to himself. His tail's kind of swishing behind him. Goes up the stairs. Enters the bar.
Pulls a thesaurus out of absolutely nowhere and just starts rifling through.
Oh, that was a really damn good fleet.
Pulls it directly out of
I'm
Hammer's
actually a little bit
that was
that's
superb.
incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. It's just, I'm here all day, night-ish.
I will have to find like the time of this to make sure if Dan's not watching it now, he
Timestamp
knows
it.
exactly when to watch just for that moment.
The dogs of rats.
Drake Lazarus says, rats, the dogs of quadrupeds. No, wait, the dogs of small furry. No, wait, the dogs of rats? Brilliant. Thank you for that. So, yes, Fleeting enters the bar with the rest of you. He orders some breakfast. He does ask Jackman for some rats. Jackman just it's very, very funny. And just offers him some bread and some cheese and a bit of pork, and he chowers down on that. He tries to ask him what the collective noun is for rats, but it doesn't go anywhere.
Does he try to rename any of the other things he's eating?
And he's just there with you, just kind of eating while the rest of you are conversing, just nodding along, not really saying anything.
Well, I guess the observation is that we have to deal with this situation for Mr. Jack, and then I would propose. Well, I intend to head on to Hilberg and find the two dwarves, hunt down Miss Helena. Seth, what of your contract?
For that, it's actually slightly towards that way, down in. It's not on my map. Where was it going to?
It was Class, wasn't it?
Class, yeah. So I'd say to Class, which is a lot further on towards the west.
But it's in the right direction.
It's in the right direction, and it's a start. Flaming Jak's is pretty close to the cave entrance because we obviously walked out.
Yeah, about a day. Yeah, less than a day.
But
No carriage.
This Shallows also owes us some money.
Yeah, we do need to head that way, but
Hilberg was where I was meant to be going before. I got an aunt and an uncle up that way.
yes, I really struggled with that was for a second.
Should we maybe Hilberg and then loop back to?
Yeah, as I was going to suggest that we head back to Halfridge to clear our names, collect our money and such, but the information Teenan got us was pretty useful. We should follow that trail before we lose them. We are already quite a bit behind them. The longer we wait, the further it gets. If we clear out these rats as quick as possible, then we can get a move on as quick to try and save her as quick as possible.
In fact, as Seth finishes this, you see the two dwarves coming down the stairs, all armoured up and ready to go. And Tina kind of nods over to you all and tells her, "Hello. Well, so that's the plan then. So we'll see you soon, I hope. Take care of yourselves. I've been taking care of my leg. It's feeling a lot better now. But I'll look after him and he looks after me, and we'll see you in Hilberg. Yes.
Fantastic news. Love it. Brilliant plan.
Indeed.
Wonderful.
Good luck, Taran.
Yeah, and there was a dragonborn that was hanging around outside in full plate armor last night, and a black dragonborn. Yes, he was asking about me wanting to talk with somebody inside from something to do with some creatures, and he mentioned Hilberg. If you see him, just say that we've gone on to Hilberg. I had a nice conversation with him, and I think I can be of assistance in the future. Yeah, that's quite enough time.
Mr. Torren, if you do need to move on from Hilberg before we meet up, leave a note as to where you're going with the shop open. keepers, the general shopkeepers. Okay.
Oh,
For us.
a note, yes. I'll probably get my brother here to write the note. Only I'm not so literate, you know.
Oh, that's fine. That's quite alright.
Okay. Plan then. Right, come on then, brother. Let's go. All right. Good to see you. And they just and outside. They're gone.
Brucon, as they go, as they kind of, you know, they bid farewell. Brucon kind of smiles and waves. As soon as they've left the room, as soon as they've gone out the door and it shuts behind them, he just turns around and goes, "So they're going to be dead by the end of the day."
Oh,
That's half. That's half.
I kind of think that's not the biggest loss.
oh.
I mean, I don't really know them,
No,
so.
come, they were competent and capable when they were not stone or trapped under stone or.
No, that's,
Well,
he's
anything
quite
to do with
right. I mean,
stone.
they were, you know, their
fully
intentions were good. I would say, if I had anything to say about it, says Logan before he goes back into his rough.
So if we want to make a move as quick as we can to Hillberg, should we do all these rats downstairs?
I'm just, by the way, I've decided that Leoberin has a popped collar.
Love it, brilliant.
Pop the rough.
Yep. Just straight up. Yeah. Anyway.
I remember you two, and the militaristic-looking elf just comes over a second.
Oh, crap,
I don't
remember
suppose you've.
him.
Have you heard anything?
Oh.
She's got the kind of reddish streaks in her black hair.
I remember she was in the corner when we were having the bar fight.
Yeah, she's got. She was in at the same table,
Yeah.
just on her. So I had quite a successful evening of mage arm wrestling.
Oh yeah, she arm wrestled the dwarf.
And she holds up this big old sack and just shakes it full of coins. If you do find anything about my grandmother, I suppose you found anything at all?
Afraid we got slightly distracted with cave into the
A cardinal direction.
South. It's southwest. Yeah.
to that direction.
Right. No leads.
Not yet.
Right. Well. Okay. Well, you know where I am if you find anything.
Will do.
You look like. I mean, I can see you've got quite a party now. Adventuring types. We had a few adventurers in here last night talking about the armor of invulnerability. Apparently, this mythical artifact supposedly was lost some time ago around here.
Wow, that's really specific item name.
I know. No, honestly, the amount they were going on about this item, I mean, yeah. And these are not folks I normally see in here as a
What they look
regular
like?
patron. There's a few dwarves, kind of a tan complexion, kind of provincial, you know, like remember, was it Mace, the dwarf, who you got in a bit of a scuffle with, as I recall. Yeah, a few of his types had some just general adventuring types, not particularly well armed, but looking like they could do with some coin. A few of those around. Yeah, anyway, armour of invulnerability. I heard about it. Frankly, I don't believe the stories, but thought you'd be interested.
Oh, thanks for the heads up.
No worries at all.
Like we don't already have enough to do.
I 100% forgot about it, Grandma.
Yeah.
Such
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
minuscule
yeah.
side plot.
I think she knew that.
I had 100%. Like when she came over, I was like, I don't even remember our conversation with her.
To be fair, my grandma went missing quite recently. How recent is that?
200
About
years?
100 years
Yeah,
ago.
100 years ago, wasn't
200
it?
years
200 years ago. Yeah, that. Is she a ghost? Is she just a special ghost? Like forgot.
Are you
she
actually
died?
asking her this?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm
Oh, I
asking
was
her
gonna say.
this.
I mean, I was going to say her complexion is kind of pale, not as pale as Neris, but you know,
Like it's
got
not
that
really
kind of
mage armor. She's just like
English
ghost
rose
hand.
kind of thing going on. Well, anyway, yes. Let me know if you find anything.
We will.
Now our collects everybody's water skin, goes to the bar, fills them up with fresh water.
Yep.
We have water in our water skins now.
This amount of beer.
Redistributes them. I think, Mr. Jack, we may be ready to help you out.
Right. Well, you know where the entrance is. I will man the bar, and I will make sure that you're not followed.
Oh.
So we had started to head down. Anyone want to go first?
Oh, I don't mind, but I turn to Neris, candle out. Oh, much appreciated.
And
That's in
you
the
lit
trunk.
your candle. Yeah.
Shield out and we go to the cellar.
Good. Whoever goes through the tunnel last, I'm just going to recommend they pull the barrel back behind us. Just that,
Yes, obstruct
Nothing
our
goes
way
wrong.
out. That's
so that nothing gets through, that we don't come out and there's not an extra fight waiting for us at the end.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
I think you're being optimistic there. If Jack wants us to fight, by God, we'll be fighting.
Oh yeah. Oh, you will be. So
I'll come in behind you. If you're going, are you going first through the
Yeah, I'm going first.
How dark is it? How far back does it look like it goes?
Okay, so when you get to the when you take a look inside, it looks like it's a kind of windy passage ahead of you, so you can't see how far back it goes currently. It looks like from where it starts, it's quite narrow. You can possibly get two of you abreast.
Oh, two next to each other.
Yeah, possibly.
Oh, okay.
And with a bit of a squeeze, you could.
I'll come with you to the side then.
Okay.
So two of you at the front.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you enter this cavern tunnel entrance, the stone woodwork of the tavern leaves you behind, and instead what you're entering into feels kind of clammy, kind of damp, just with these rock walls kind of crowding you in, about 10 feet high, and you carry on through there. You can hear a faint sound of
10
water.
feet high?
As in the ceiling, 10 feet high.
Oh, so we can stand.
Yeah, you're standing. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh no, the entrance itself was maybe 5 feet, and it's opened up to 10 feet.
Oh.
So you didn't have to crawl.
I
or
literally
anything.
thought we were all crawling the whole way through this
No.
windy tunnel.
We're gone.
Sorry, I misled you there.
Advantage to being a dwarf.
I was going to say,
Underground.
literally the main reason I decided to do no, this isn't true, but a handy benefit of being a dwarf is just kind of like, yeah, cool, whatever, I'm just going to walk.
A bit short. And you walk through for a few minutes before the passage kind of opens up into a larger area. You two are at the front, so can you both make perception checks, please?
Oh, damn, 17.
Less than 17. Okay, so with your
hide Martyr's sheet, so I need it, because I keep reading that one.
So with your 17, your elven eyes managed to pick up the breadcrumbs and stuff that you'd spotted before. You're seeing more of these bits of cheese, some salted pork as well. There's just some scattered bits of food, just dotted about as you progress into the tunnel. You can see it's leading further in, and as it opens up into into a larger area, you see that these breadcrumbs and stuff are starting to trail, starting to scatter a bit more into piles, just in this more open expanse in front of you. As far as your dark vision can see, I'll tell you what, why don't we get a map out?
I was just thinking.
Do you want to turn to map 6?
Comes out.
Indeed. So you guys are at the that end, the left-hand the end nearest to DK. When it opens out,
I'll depop the orange colour. No, and then drop it.
And as you get into that area, should we get the camera out?
Yeah.
I believe James is on camera duty today.
I've lost his base. How low can you go?
Let the base.
The base, no. So as you, fortunately, because you're of your perception check, looking around in this more opened out area, you also notice, in addition to the breadcrumbs and so on, within the cave entrance, in the rocky outcrops that kind of frame the area, you see two sets of beady reddish eyes staring back at you.
Where do we see them from, sorry?
From the rocky outcrops, one to your left, one to your right. No, within that area that you're in.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So you spot that. So can everyone roll initiative, please?
Sure. Don't suppose you've got a spare 2x3 Lego base
Just sit
piece.
down. Sit
Kicking
down.
Oh no,
Box
Lego
behind
problems.
It's gone missing.
I might do.
Will be recoverable,
Yep, I got one.
but a bit awkward during the steering.
There you go.
Thank you.
That's not terrible for initiative.
Need to pull out their stats now.
Shit, yeah, fuck.
I have people's stats.
So for the audience
Yes.
at home, the players that are here today have elected to take on combat duties of the 3 players that aren't here. So
Just
this
so
might be
that
a
Jack
bit.
isn't having a fight with himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be quite nice. I would definitely appreciate that.
But I tell you what I do have. Spells.
Yes, because you've rested.
6 glorious
Oh,
spell
nice.
slots. 6 of them.
Elven Eyes are watching you.
And I'm just going to put her wand into battle mode.
You should have just rotated the hand.
I do that one.
Okay.
Oh shit, that also means I need to roll first fleet.
Yep.
Yep.
You got to roll initiative twice.
Okay. Okay, so who rolled 25 through 20?
I'm on 26.
That's even better.
Row.
We'll take that.
What?
I have
How?
+7 initiative for Swashbuckler.
Ah.
26, you say?
Yeah.
Top of the leaderboard.
This is where the subclasses start coming out.
Did you? Sorry, did you roll a natural? No, you rolled
19.
19.
So that's not even his best.
No,
score.
it's
that's,
yeah,
that's,
could even
that's
have
kind of
been higher.
impressive.
Yeah, my initiative +7.
He said smugly.
Yeah.
He's,
You take the, what is it, the alert fee?
yeah, that gives you
I'm
like
good
+5 or
with a
something
+7.
crazy.
I'm okay with that.
So 26. Anyone else? 25 through 22.
Nope.
Nil point.
I love how you said through to a 22.
Yep.
I feel
I
like,
think there's a reason.
Because one of them got a 22.
I feel like rats don't get +2s on initiative.
They've got +2 dexterity, they do.
Hey,
Hmm.
we now know they have +2 dexterity.
And they roll a natural 20.
Hmm.
Anyway, anyone? Okay, so 20 through 15.
Yeah. Brucon got 18.
Brucon an 18.
Fleeting got 16.
Neris got 16.
Okay.
Sorry.
Neris can just go. Just have Neris go first.
Neris and then fleeting. All right. Okay, that's anyone else? No, just those. Okay, 15 to 10.
Leobrin got 13.
And Malar got 12.
Leobrin got 13. Did you say?
Correct.
Okay.
It's good. There are 2 healers in the second half of
In the
initiative.
response.
Ready,
yeah.
ready to heal
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, in the react section of
Sorry,
initiative
13
order.
for Leobrin and who? Sorry.
12.
Malar.
For Malar.
Malar 12. Is that? I think is that everyone?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okie dokie. Oh, I suppose you give you these little things as well. So there's a number 1 because you're number 1
Oh.
Yeah.
currently. 2, 3 for Brucon, 4 for Neris, 5 for Fleeting. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
hang on. Yeah, I'm saying Neris is over there.
6 for me, 7 for Leobrin.
Here.
Thank you. Malar at the end. Great. 8 out of those 10 were used. Fantastic. Okay, guys. So, first up then
Do we have
is
little miniatures
Seth.
for the rats?
Yes. Unfortunately, not actual rats because I don't have them for some reason.
No, that's
well,
it.
I've got other
I'll be disappointed when we have actual minis that accurately represent them.
Oh, there is. You're in for a treat with one of the ones I got today.
Ewoks.
The
I'm
Ewoks
having
again,
dog
yeah.
flashbacks.
Where does the Ewok rat go?
Yeah.
Yeah, one in the rock capper over there, and one on the opposite side. These are giant rats. That's it for now.
I expect to see some.
So you spot
swashbuckling
2 of them.
bullshit from you, buddy.
Cool.
No pressure, but
I'm gonna move straight up to the first one. Draw the short sword and yeah. I can't say I had something already prepared, like a weapon out, so I should have had. But I
just
didn't,
pull
I
out
didn't
a
say it, so I've
dagger.
only got my short sword out right now, so I can't draw 2. So short sword attack. That's 7 plus 6.
second encounter for Seth with rats, and it's time to exact your revenge for being knocked unconscious the first time.
So 14.
14 misses, unfortunately. This was the problem last time.
And now I'm going to use my bonus action to disengage because I know this shit now. Just pull back.
Oh no. Okie dokie.
10, 20, 25. So I know this shit now, so I know to just pull back.
Just get the heck out of there. Right. With that, so those two rats jump out. One on Malar, another one that you didn't see comes out with him, attacks on Malar, and two go for you. Okay, first two on Malar are going to try and bite you, using their pack tactics to get advantage. That's cocked. Okay.
What concerns me is he's got 2 initiative things. Everything we know of just moved.
Yep.
Yep. Everything you know of just moved.
That's not a good sign.
So does 18 hit?
Yes, just barely.
Just hits. Okay. So one of them gets a bite in on you. It's a little rat teeth. You take 4 points. Sorry, 3 points of 4 points of piercing damage. Second one goes for a bite on you. Again, that 15 on the dice, so that's going to be 19 with hit as well. So you take another 4 points of piercing damage as these 2 rats are gnawing into your legs, into your trunk, your great mighty oak-like legs, taking bites into you, little nibbles. The 2 on you.
Then you get 11 to hit.
11 on the dice.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's 4 on my.
Yes, that's right. So those 2. So first one misses you. You managed to out the way, like, not today, rats. Second one, yeah, it does bite you there. Yeah, the second one got you. As you moved out of the way of the first one, you moved straight into the path of the second one. You take 5 points of piercing damage as it grabs into your free arm.
That's fine.
All right.
I can live through this now.
That's them. Brucon.
Brucon. Okay. He's going to pull out his short sword. And is the red squiggles is...
That's just rocky outcrop, so it's not difficult terrain, it's just slightly elevated.
Fine, okay. Well, in that case, he's going to leap out to the side and attempt to kebab one of the giant rats.
Aha, so he gets advantage on the attack because of flanking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great.
His shoddy sword.
Shoddy.
So, short sword attack first with advantage. Okay, so that's 17.
17 hits.
Yeah, and then the unarmed follow-up attack as his bonus. That's 20.
Unarmed follow-up attack.
This is a monk.
That's the Oberon you just moved.
It is. You're absolutely right.
Sorry, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah,
let's just replicate that, but over
yeah,
here
no, that's
instead.
fine. So they both
He's got 35 feet of movement, so he ought to be able to make that. Yeah.
Both of those hit. Roll for damage.
Cool. So we've got a D6 and a D4 plus 6 because 2 hits. So that's 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. And with that, you just you stab him with the sword, but it's the punch to the head that kills that one. Yeah. It's out cold. You can remove that one from the board.
This one?
Yep.
Yeah, that one.
That boy.
Yeah.
That's 1 Ewok dog rat down.
Fire fist or we riot.
Was that a Freudian slip?
No, that was meant to be.
Is that a monk thing? Is that your thing, Fire Fist? Or
no,
we're talking about Neris now?
Who's to say?
Well, they Fire Fist. Fine.
Oh no. To be fair, no. It is a Neris thing, but it's not a combat move. It's a.
On her turn,
it's
it's
Neris'
a
default
thing.
response to I don't like this situation. Is now my hands are on fire.
Well, it's
shortly other things maybe as well.
Well, funnily enough, because are you doing anything else on your turn? Is that you?
No, that's pretty much. Murdering a giant rat is more than enough for Brucon.
All right. So next is Neris.
So with Neris, she's going to step forward to right next to the rats and
toast the eyes glowing red.
A fire fist. So she's just sort of coming up and she's looking. She goes, fucking save the kit people, fight the rats, everything comes down to me. She's going to move both hands forward to make her burning hands shape. I call it burning fist for this one. and she's going to fire it in a 15-foot cone to try and get both of these without getting Mala.
Yeah, you can do that.
It's dex
but I
saves.
would say to specify that Marta's request, I'll bribe someone with Nando's to get Marta's character to set her own fist on fire, then punch something. Burning hands doesn't count as setting your fist on fire.
No.
So
I've got as close as we can.
Yeah. So you use burning hands.
So she's going to burning hands.
So they have to make dexterity saves.
Dexterity saves, DC 12. I think she's got.
Yep.
Okay, they both fail.
So they both fail. So that's 3d6 damage.
Yep. 3d6 fire damage.
Oh.
So that's 10 damage.
Each.
With a screech, both of them smolder
Yeah,
and
baby.
collapse down.
Ignite.
Ignite!
Cool. So Marta's one-shotted 2 of them.
Yep.
I think we're set for pyromaniac stuff.
Yeah.
Cthulhu goes on the second thing the initiative he's got, and we all die. Shut up, Joe.
Neris doing anything else?
You look further into the chamber, you see the other monster. It's the Tarask. You all die.
So Jerry Lazarus said he's disappointed in the lack of commitment to the Fire Fist cause. I got as close, but I did Burning Fist. It was as close as I could get.
Well, I mean, you know...
Opinion is divided on just how burning and how fisty the burning fist
it's
is.
like,
I mean,
Marta said
it's
afterwards,
excellent work.
excellent work. So Marta's happy.
Sometimes you just got to leave the
Key
audience
audience
hungry for
is-
more, you know?
Key audience is satisfied.
So, 3 out of the 4 giant rats taken care of. That was Neris's turn. Next.
This party will fuck you up. 3 out of 4 giant
Fleeting
rats
look.
agree.
Next is Fleeting.
Fleeting is next.
Fleeting is going to pull out his, I believe his weapon of choice is actually a warhammer.
It's that or the battle axe, because he carries two-handed
he's-
weapons, because
He'll
he's
be fine
mental.
with crushing or slashing.
He's a lord unto himself.
Bop, waves at you.
Which is not normally how paladins work.
Bop, bop.
No,
And
quite.
then
Clearly doing it differently.
Smarter than your average paladin.
he is going to swing with the warhammer.
He gets advantages to flanking.
Yeah.
Even better. He's doing it two-handed.
Oh, that's a
natural
crit.
20.
That's a
Yeah,
crit.
there we
We're
go.
all with the
So
damage.
it'd be actually 2d10s if I'm not mistaken.
Two-handed.
It should be on his sheet.
For what? Sorry, the
He only lists out
warhammer.
1d8.
Right.
But I think that's a versatile weapon, so it
Yeah.
goes up to a d10.
It does.
So,
Yeah.
5 plus. So that's 10, 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
He smashes its skull in, and it just flumps to the floor, just flat out,
I
legs
feel like
fall
you guys
down.
have done well for honouring what Fleeting would want to do today. Of,
Right, yeah.
of the name, the wave. You guys are fleeting down.
Yeah.
It's like we don't even it. No, we did. Come back.
I feel that we are playing on the very beginning of a myth. We are placeholdering.
Hang
when
on,
he
there
gets
is a...
back.
1 second. I'm going to take a very short break, so I want to see what that was. 2 seconds. Well, that was uneventful. I was like, is it Dan? Has he come? No, he hasn't.
He sensed he was needed to kill a rat.
Okay, so with the last of the giant rats taken care of, good timing actually, you see, you all hear a hiss from, a high-pitched hiss from the ceiling above you, and
We never look up.
you see...
It's 10 foot. I'm 7 foot. It's in my eye. It's in my eyesight.
It's it's hugged up against the ceiling, but what you
You
do
are the
see
only
now
part
that
where it doesn't
now
have
that it
dark
has
vision.
revealed
Cool.
itself to you, you see an 8-legged, multi-eyed rodent.
What?
Yes! Yes! Knew it! Yes! Rat King! Yes!
What is this mutant?
It's a Rat King!
Rat King.
It dives down and jumps at Neris'
no!
face,
There's.
What head is that?
That's a bunny rat.
along with its friend, which I didn't have another thing, so...
Where's the head? Is it a Five Nights at Freddy's head?
No.
It's a Nesquik. It's a cookie
Oh, yeah,
in
it's
Nesquik.
Just
uh,
for the camera.
Because it does look like a Five Nights at
We've
Freddy's
got
thing.
this guy.
I mean,
And they are currently
they both jump down from the
Backs
ceiling
up
at Neris.
on Neris.
Are there 2 of these?
2 of them.
Right. Okay.
A pair of Rat Kings.
A
Which said chat asked for
a
more
pair
rats,
of
please.
spider
we now have
rats.
mutant rats.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Rats.
To be fair, Splinter was, except for the teenage part, pretty
Yeah.
much exactly that.
Exactly.
So are they the same thing, the 2 of them?
Yep, they're both the same. They look different because I don't have another one of those legged thingies, unfortunately. So they jump. They leap down to attack to grab onto. One of them leaps to grab Neris's face.
That one, I think, is going to die.
As good as.
Guys, really stop swearing! For goodness sake.
So the fun fact about Twitch doesn't like aggressive swearing,
And they're just
which
like,
is
what?
yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Anyway, does a 14 hit Neris?
Neris armor
Yes.
class is 14, so that's
So yeah,
so she's going to use shield.
She's going to
Nice.
use shield as this thing tries to latch onto her face.
Excellent work. Excellent work.
The second one also leaps down, tries the same thing.
Does he need to be
On the
somewhere
same
else then?
face.
So they both.
Jack, does he need to be somewhere else on the map?
No, they're both going for her, so that's
Yeah,
fine.
one was behind the other one.
There we go.
Oh, sorry, yeah,
Like
they're meant to be
physically.
gathered
I
around
know.
here, yeah.
It's a Rat King party, and Neris is invited.
Actually, this one gonna go try and bite her. Natural 20 this time.
Her AC was 19.
So yeah, 25's gonna get her, and it's crit, so it's double damage. So
Well, I tried to keep her alive. I tried
you
really
did-
hard to
you
keep
did-
her
You
alive.
did the thing.
You killed 2 rats.
She killed 2 rats, she used shield, there wasn't much else we could... I'm sorry, Martha.
Yeah.
oh, that was low rolling by me.
You're welcome, Martha. No.
You're welcome. 5 points of piercing damage, and
I was expecting...
the second spider latches onto her face. The spider rat's now engulfed. Her head almost disappears as the legs go around her, and she's currently blinded and unable to breathe.
Oh!
Polybody, you said spider.
Spider rat.
Yeah, alright, yeah, I was going to say, because it is a Rat King, which is
Spider rat.
vaguely spidery.
It's a spider rat.
Cool.
Spider Rat.
Cool, cool, cool.
Spider Rat.
Is that the end of Spider Rat's turn?
I'm just checking.
What other deeply unpleasant things is it going to do?
Yeah, that's it. That is it.
That's
Yeah.
the end
Just
of the list.
deeply
Deeply
unpleasant.
unpleasant
The
things.
face huggers from Alien in
Yes.
spider rat form. Yeah.
Face full
So
of-
Neris now is stumbling around with a spider rat attached to her face, smothering her. Okay, Leobryn's turn next. Exactly. And you can
I
just
kinda
see
wanna
like the
take the
red hands, like the fire just
I
coming
kind of
off
want
of
to take
it.
the Nez Quick head off and put it on Marta.
Hmm?
I kind of want to take the Nez Quick bunny head off and put it on Marta.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Why the
who's
hell
it?
not?
Leobryn.
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 That's you.
Leobryn, where are you?
Leobryn. No, oh, no.
I was just wondering about setting the whole damn place on fire. That feels like a reasonably Leobryn type of reaction. However,
Do you have his spells again?
yeah, no, I'm looking. Yeah, they're spelled out here. Cantrips. He's only got 2. Okay. For absent.
What a giant cat illusion.
He is all in for illusions.
He is.
Yeah, okay,
His
yeah,
character
cool.
sheet really is.
Okay, yes. So,
Or fairy fire.
yeah,
So
fairy
Marshall's
fire
gonna
doesn't
list off
feel
all
like
his
a
things.
phenomenal idea as the first response. We'll
Yeah.
go with he'll go with minor illusion first. So Leobryn's first. I mean, to be fair, giant cat.
He's saying giant cat.
I'm extremely open to a public consultation on this.
I mean, you are
So-
controlling the character.
So,
you have the final decision.
yeah,
Don't
let's
let him
go with a.
influence you.
So
Not here.
hang on. So we've got one of them firmly. So Neris has got
This one's
face full of
eating her
Rat
head.
King wing wong from one.
Yeah,
of them,
it is latched onto her
but
face.
the other one is
Nes-
just next to her.
It's on the
correct?
floor. Yeah, ready to
That one's
to
next to
strike
her,
her.
that
yeah.
one's eating her head.
Okay,
Essentially,
minor
yeah.
illusion has a range of 30 feet. So, in fact, okay, it's going to be minor illusion. The sound of a large predatory cat immediately behind the Rat King that is not currently attached to Neris's face.
Sorry, the last comment.
Drake
Again.
Lazarus. We're conjuring a giant version of beloved family pet, and we choose cat. Come on. He's rooting for the dogs there. Okay, yeah.
The
yeah.
thing is, these are illusory, so Seth cannot then kill them.
So it's the sound of a cat, of a giant cat.
We're working on it.
So
Roll
I'm
a
thinking
We will
performance
get it
check.
off
Yeah.
the head.
Poor film ants. This is really weirdly organised. There we go. Okay.
This is for the love of God, get the spider right off of Neris's face.
That's an 11.
11 misses, unfortunately. Sorry, misses. It's a performance check. It does the
Yeah,
noise.
it
I'm so
doesn't-
sorry. It seems unperturbed.
Yeah,
there
it's,
we go.
it's not
It
sufficiently.
fails.
Yeah, it doesn't do a sufficiently intimidating job.
Anything else with Leo?
I'm gonna suggest. I think he's probably. Like, I don't think he's especially cowardly, but I think what he will do is just kind of tuck into Malar a little bit. Malar seems to be sort of base
the meat shield.
in the game of tag that is life in a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Malar is base, so I'm going to suggest that I'm going to have Leobrin.
He is the Alamo.
Sort of, yeah,
And
basically.
On
Yeah.
that note,
Yeah, almost literally, in fact.
Yes.
it's now Malar's turn.
Speaking of whom,
Who moves away?
So Leobrin taps you on the shoulder and says, "I'll give you guidance." No, he doesn't.
I thought it was a nice time. Mal will walk up to Neris. Now, this thing is smothering her. She's unable to breathe right now.
Yes.
Then I'm assuming it can't run away.
Yes.
So Malar is not going to try and whack it with his quarterstaff. He's just going to try and grab and pull it off.
Okay.
Yeah,
So for
grapple
this, just make a strength check.
Goodbye, Neris' head.
It's just a strength check for this specific thing. It's just written down in here.
nice.
21.
21. Yeah. You rip it off of her face. The eyes glowing really red. She is pissed.
Yeah.
You grab the spider and you
things
put it in
I've
your hand.
witnessed.
It's like now it's sprawled out its legs. It's trying to grab at you now.
Was that my entire action?
That was an action to do that. Yes.
I'm just going to hold there. I've got nothing else.
Okay. Great. So right, top of the order, Seth.
Cool. To the one that Malar is holding, I'm going to immediately go over to it. So I'm going to try and position myself here.
Yep.
And yeah, so going to draw out my dagger as well.
Yeah.
So, I've got-
So you got advantage because the flanking.
yeah.
So that's
Good.
all gravy.
So with the short sword, yep. So I've rolled a 22.
72 hits. Roll damage.
Short sword, d6, and sneak attack 2. So with the first one, 13, 16 damage on the first hit.
16. Crunches into it. You see you manage to hack off one of its legs as it hobbles around. It's still up, but it's staggering.
And with my bonus action, I'm going to go to stab it with a dagger. Just extra move.
Okay.
I need to roll to
Yeah.
Presumptuous there.
17.
Oh yeah.
So that's just a 4.
A reasonable presumption, as it turned out.
Yeah. It's again you
Bonus action
stab into
attacks
it.
don't add the modifier on, do they? It's just
Not the
stat.
modifier.
Yeah, so it's just 4.
Just 4. It's still up, but you've caused it some serious.
With
You
it
see
being
this.
held by Malar, am I
Yeah.
able to move away from it, or does I get opportunity attack?
It still gets an opportunity attack because it's grappled essentially.
Then I'll have. Then my turn there, then I'll only get an opportunity
Like,
attack.
yeah, and there's like this bluish, purplish kind of blood like, pouring out of this thing. As you stab into it, it looks very uncomfortable. It's gross. It's so gross. Okay, they're out. So Brucon.
Getting involved in this action.
If you get here, I think you'll get the advantage from
Yeah.
Malar.
Okay, well, he's got move for days because he's a monk. So, yeah, we'll go. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. Are we good with combat advantage in this position here?
Because he's got Malar gripping it.
Oh, yeah, fine, yeah.
Sound. Okay,
Flanking.
so short sword and unarmed strike. Once again, I'm going to hang on to those key points for the time being. So, short sword first. That's not a great roll. That's a 13.
13 just hits.
13
its
does
armor
hit.
class,
Right. Okay.
yeah.
Nice. Okay, and then the unarmed attack as a follow-up is it's a 17 on the dice. So
That hits as well, yeah.
yeah. So 2 hits. So again, d6 and a d4 plus 6, and that's 12.
Yeah, 12. With that, you plow into it, even just in the first strike. You rip it in twain, and the second strike just kind of hits the lifeless head that's left. This horrible sort of abortive, this gross.
You call it aborted.
Abortive. Wow. Sorry. This horrible, just looks like some twisted experiment. The fact that you've got this rat head on this spider body, and you feel that it's not in line with the balance. This is certainly of the dark rather than the light.
This is definitely an excessive concentration of the Hebe and also the GB.
Indeed, and with that you kill it.
And these here rat kings.
You split it in half. It's dead. Yeah,
it's
cool.
expired.
You do anything else? Any movement? Or you good?
That pretty much his movement. Good. Got in there. The kind of wall run and then bounce off and just
and it's dead. Neris.
Cool. So to make a ranged spell attack, if you're within 5 feet, it's disadvantage, isn't it?
That's right.
Damn. Cool. So I feel like Neris would want to get absolute burning revenge for eating her head.
Yep.
So I don't think she wants to do firebolt with disadvantage. So I'm going to use another spell slot for burning hands, and she's just going to turn around and just go, "It ate me!" and just burning hands to its face.
Okay, so dexterity save. What's the save?
Not ew, gross.
Yeah.
What's the DC?
12.
12. It just failed.
Cool. So that's 5, 6, 7 damage.
7 damage. Alrighty. It is slightly singed. You hear a piercing from it as it gets slightly on fire. It's a horrible noise. Combination of rat and spiders. Not something you should hear.
So she's pretty much standing there facing its face. Literally got the fire going right into its face.
Brilliant. Fleeting Look is next.
Turns, sees the now eviscerated spider rat thing in Nala's hand, looks at you and goes, hold on. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. There, fine, that'll do. That's always movement. Warhammer again.
Divine Smite.
Massive overkill, really.
Yeah, I'm going to hold
let's see what the dice say first. It might be.
Yeah, that's going to be 13.
Which is a hit?
That's exactly a hit, yes.
Yeah, so again, it's D10. It's going to be 10. 10 points of bludgeoning.
10 points of bludgeoning damage as he smashes into it with Warhammer again. More of this purplish blood just pulses out of it, erupts out of it even with the impact. It's still going, but it's looking pretty ropey. It's now its turn. So I'm gonna who does it attack though with what it's left? That's a good question. It goes for Neris again. Just leaps through the fire into her face again. 19 on the dice. Yep.
Yeah,
wraps around her face, and she takes 6 points of piercing damage as it latches onto her.
How's she doing?
She's on to 5.
Here we go. Leobrin.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I love the look to each other.
Just so completely keyed up to Brucon. This is why I always start character names with the same letter as me. Yeah, anyway.
Didn't
Fairy
even notice
Fire.
that until you said that.
Fairy Fire. The cat thing did not work at all. And Leobrin, I'm taking this as being sort of, okay, I'm in a stressed situation here, need a response of some kind, not just going to stand here passively. So, Fairy Fire. Yeah, okay. So, he's going to do his best to place it so that the minimum number of possible targets are within the range or within the affected area, which I think means the Rat King and Fleeting Look are because it's a 20-foot
radius or something.
It's a 20-foot cube.
20-foot cube. Okay.
So you can configure it so that Neris isn't in it and Brucon isn't in it, but there's no way to get the Rat King without getting Fleeting Look.
So what's the save?
The save DC looks to me to be 13.
So you can
and
roll
it's
for
Dex.
fleeting and I'll roll for the
Yeah,
spider.
sure.
Oh, yeah, I'll roll for you.
13.
So,
On Dex.
on Dex.
Oh, nice.
He's nailed it on the dice.
Spider succeeds as well.
Spider succeeds. Okay. All
Leobrin's
objects
not
and
having a good
failed
time.
save creatures save. Now, what isn't clear?
You have Arms of Hadar as well, which Master of Deception didn't realise.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think
Spell.
Fire
Oh, yeah,
has an effect if it misses. It just.
I
It
don't
just means
either.
the area's glowing in this
Yeah,
in a suitably Leobrin pinkish purplish
Yeah,
glow.
cool. Okay, I think he would consider that a net win for his turn.
Thanks for that. We'll write Arms of Hadar down because I've had to update your sheet. Okay, great. Leobrin, that's his turn. Malar.
It's going to come up. Well, same again, really. Just sort of grab Neris and go and try and grab
Do this again.
this thing off. So.
Yep, strength check.
Oh, 6.
This time, you kind of again, and you go to grab it, and this time it's not and it's not going, and you can see Neris is being pulled with it, like, and you try to pull it off. It's still there, it's still stuck to her face, firmly, not going anywhere.
I'll tell you what then. Bonus action. Healing word on Neris.
Cool.
Okay, so that's 2, 3.
Arms of Hadar is a real.
7 points of healing.
It's a
Live
real
cleric.
mixed blessing spell in an enclosed environment. I've got to tell you, as the other option in a closed environment to Eldritch Blast, it's yeah.
Cool.
Controversial.
It's just anything within 10 feet must make a strength saving throw or take a bunch of necrotic damage to the
Is that
face.
in your turn?
Yeah.
That's it, my turn, yeah.
So I
Okay,
think it's
then.
not
not
set.
Seth.
Top of the order.
Does not have a selective
I'm gonna
fire.
go still.
though.
I don't think I don't get advantage because there's no one directly across from me. So
Nope.
it's just regular hit, but I do still get sneak attack because
Because you've got allies, yeah.
So first attack with short sword is 23.
Hits.
So with the sneak attack.
Because it's 23, I'll say that. No, sorry, carry on. You hit, it doesn't matter.
20 damage.
20 damage. Describe to us how you destroy the
I'm
last
gonna
of the
try-
spider
How do
rat.
you
Bro!
hit the rat thing
Gonna
without
try-
her face?
That was
No,
more than its total
literally-
hit points.
Where its head, where like it's biting Marta, I'm going to try and chop.
Neris.
Sorry, where it's biting Neris, I'm going to try
No
and
one's
chop
biting Marta.
its head off, so that
We
it's
don't know.
literally just the head on top of Neris, so we can get it off easier. So I'm literally just decapitating it.
So its rat head drops off from its spider
So
body.
now there's
It
Neris
goes
standing
limp
there
and
with
flops to the
a
floor.
rat head on her head.
And it's like slicing the apple or something. Just plop, and it lands on her head. And
And like end of combat, we all immediately try and get the head off her. So we take that off. While she's seething, don't forget she can press the digitate.
yeah, that's going to happen
Yeah.
pretty shortly. So yeah, you.
She's learned that after the last time she was covered in something she didn't want to be.
Yeah.
And forgot she could do that.
It's a reasonable way to respond when
Yeah.
the first time it happens to you. I think.
She shrugs it off, prestidigitates on herself. Just with a snap of her fingers, she's suddenly clean. All the purplish, gory gore is off of her.
Go.
And she goes, guys, can we please just move on? I don't want to be here with the spider
she's
rats.
just going to step back and she's just going to sort of go like this to her head and just firebolt corpse.
Fire punch corpse. Set a hat.
No, she's going to move a bit away.
Yeah, fire fist that corpse.
Move a bit away and she goes firebolt, looks aside, more corpse, and she just goes firebolts to all the corpses. So the rats
There's
are
a
just
lot
now
of flaming
corpses
rats.
on fire.
Cleanse it with fire.
Okay, so it looks like the immediate danger has passed. So you guys are now at the
You know, I've actually
So
for the
let's
last
take Marcus
one,
back.
she's not going to cast firebolt. She's going to fire in her hand. No, she's going
I
to.
was trying to help you.
No, she's gonna have the fire like circling around her feet with her control flame, and she's gonna fire kick it.
Okay.
Yes, there it is, and there it is. Control flame.
I'm not giving
Yeah.
them what they want.
Yeah.
So she's used control flame to keep it by her foot, and she's just kicking the head that was on her last with fire kick.
Nice. So with
I'm not giving them.
so she kicks it. She fire kicks the corpses,
It's not the time yet. That's where it is on.
and that is the end of that. As the sort of the excitement of the encounter dies down and returns to this this slow dripping sound of the of the cave. One voice opens up. Whoops. One voice pipes up in the otherwise silence. So, what do we call these things? Has anyone got a name for these? Because I had a thought.
Share your thoughts.
I mean, unless anyone objects.
You're so good and proud.
I was thinking we could call them arachnids.
He would love that. That's so perfect.
Because the spider, the rat, the rodent.
Oh,
Yes, no, it makes a lot of sense.
It's actually good.
I can see the logic there.
Yeah.
Right. And does anyone know the collective noun for a group of arachnids?
I walk away from him.
Is it? I don't know, but I have a feeling it's about to be something like a molestation of arachnids.
I was thinking like a web of arachnids. Maybe I'm working on it.
That's certainly better.
So when we finish combat, Martha's going to change 2 sorcery points into another spell slot.
Yeah.
Okay, that seems like a sensible plan. Okay, so what are you guys doing? Are you continuing into the tunnel, or?
Can we just do a small investigation, just a small brief look around to see if there's lots of food here,
Sure.
or if that trail that we were following, like you said, there were little bits of crumbs.
Yeah. Perception or investigation, up to you.
It'd probably be more perception. I'm not really looking for anything. Just see if we can follow the same trail.
Yeah.
There's piles of it anywhere.
Make a perception.
What
check.
do I see?
17.
What do your half-elf eyes see?
17.
17. Okay, so yes, although there are piles of it dotted about in the kind of antechamber that you're in, you do see a trail of more cheese and bread and so on heading further into the tunnel, and you actually see it go off to the left into that passageway that you haven't looked down yet.
Okay.
There's an opening to your
Martha,
right.
so she's quite all right. She's gone 12 out of 16, so pretty good. I'm on 16 out of 21, so I'll be fine. No one else got hit, did they?
So literally haven't been touched.
Twice. How's your health?
Oh, I still got 22, so.
Damn.
4 con.
Damn, bro. Nice.
Alright.
Damn.
What's your total?
30.
Holy hell.
That's right.
I love having high con characters.
Lead the effing way.
Okay.
So, with light's not concentration, is it? You've still got your
No,
light.
so long as she doesn't cast it again, I've got it.
Perfect, then yeah, if you still got your light, I'll come next and
Play the
move
barbarian.
forwards a bit.
Like you can just stack the hit points
Yeah.
to Kingdom Come. It's really fun.
I've got designs for a barbarian. I just don't get the game to use them in. So actually, that's not true. It was one game, and but anyway.
Thanks for that, Marshall. Marshall's dropped his spell and ability info into the chat.
Oh,
Next.
So
For the warlock.
Seth is with me, yeah?
Yeah, I'll come with you.
We are going to check out this.
All right, you can remove the paper, and you can. So as you
Can I just
cast
go
light on
a
that
tiny
area.
bit in front and just stealth,
Yeah,
just
sure.
like literally like just a step in front. And
Well, I'll tell you what, do you
stealth.
want me to come around the corner and hold at the corner?
Yeah.
So you wait at the corner and then extend your trunk out with the candle, which
Sure.
Daenerys has now lit again. So if you'd like.
It's not concentration spell light, is it?
I don't know how long it lasts, so she's done it again.
No, she's not done it. She'll do it again. It lasts for
It's like is it a minute or an hour or something like that?
no, probably more than a minute. I think it'd probably be an hour then.
Yeah, she does it again.
She does it again.
Out of
Yeah,
curiosity.
Hour's fine.
Whatever.
And you just extend your trunk forward a little bit, just around the corner a little bit, and you're going to sneak ahead. So make a
Yeah.
stealth check.
17.
17. Yep. Okay, you're pretty stealthy as far as you can tell. But what you see ahead of you as you stealth into it is so this kind of hollowed out grotto, if you like, there's various barrels and casks in this area, and you can see these trails of food leading to this area, and you can see some of these barrels have been opened with bits of grain like pouring out of them.
Okay.
But it appears that there is some kind of order. The grain barrels all seem to be together. The barrels full of cheese, and they're all sorted into their different areas. Vegetables. It looks like there's been some order to this.
I'll ask the group. Has anyone ever heard of these arachnids before?
Oh, I think you just made it up.
No, has anyone ever actually seen or heard of them before?
Oh, no.
It's just very odd look, to have creatures like this and to have such order here, some things
Malor will
got
actually
higher intelligence.
now go into the cave with Seth.
Sure.
And walk up to the sees the same thing.
Yeah.
Walks up to the barrels. You said
Well, before you get there, Seth, you do spot also. Sorry, I forgot to add this. You also see there is an axe suspended from the ceiling, just in front of the passageway where you would enter.
By a web? Or just in the air?
It looks like it's attached by some kind of rope, pulley mechanism type thing. You're not sure what it is, but it's suspended there.
Cool.
You sense with your roguiness that this might be
A trap.
trap. Yes.
Yeah.
the textbook
It's
definition.
pretty-
Yeah, well.
An axe hanging from the ceiling that literally
Pointed
was nothing.
towards, like, as if it would swing in as if it would pendulate and swing down to the entrance where you are.
Oh, I was totally mispicturing that. I was picturing like a hand axe tied to the ceiling,
yeah.
like just dangling there. When you said suspended, I was picturing like this
Oh, yeah.
light around
Yeah.
it. It's like the axe of suspension.
Yeah.
If you throw it,
Yeah, the
it
magical-
just doesn't go anywhere. It hovers
magical
right in front of
floating
you.
axe.
It's the hand axe that doesn't belong.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't realise you meant that. I thought you literally meant like
No,
it was a hand
I
axe.
apologise. Yeah, I didn't articulate that very well, but
Sliding
it looks like it would
along.
oscillate
Okay,
into where you are.
cool. So I'm gonna go back. Don't come in. There's a trap here. One, how far in does it?
It's quite a
Does it-
large axe, and it looks
does it
like
look like
maybe it's suspended maybe 15 feet in front of you,
Is there
in
a
the centre of the.
Is there a tripwire?
You can make a investigation check to look.
Oh, 7.
You don't see a tripwire.
Cool. Then I'm not gonna go. Do I? I rolled a 7. I would have seen everything I could see. Yeah. So I'm gonna let the group know that there's
Maybe let Malar know that.
there's a big axe hanging from the ceiling, but I can't see what would cause it to activate.
What kind of axe is it? Is it in?
Who knows?
It's fleeting look. And he pulls out his battle axe.
Bigger.
It's not one. And the Oberyn comes in. It's not one of those spiritual axes. You know, like the hammer we
No.
fought that time.
No, I realise we've had a lot of axe encounters. Sorry. There's a big axe hanging from the ceiling that, if we walk in, is going to come down and cleave us in two.
I could set it on fire.
I like that plan.
But you didn't see any tripwire.
I couldn't see anything.
Would you mind if I took a look?
Yeah, go ahead.
By the will of the 8, help me out. Guidance. I would like to look for the tripwire.
You hear?
Throw me a
you-
frickin'
you
bone here.
very
man.
faintly hear in the back of your head and you feel the warm and jovial presence of Festia.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought
That's
it
what
was
you.
the bad
That's
guy.
what you're going for, is it?
Yeah.
Because warm and jovial, not so much.
I was going for bad guy mocking laugh.
Yeah, I was going. Yeah.
Oh no, that's a totally different laugh.
Sinister was definitely the. Yep.
15.
15. Okay, so as you look around, no tripwire, but what you do see is you see the otherwise stone floor. You see there's a carve into it, and kind of sensitively just brush into it, and you can see that it's some kind of pressure plate on the floor in the centre of the. It's only 5 feet across. This pressure plate in the middle of the. How you'd walk through into that area. That one, yeah.
Mr. Seth, would you mind just push you back out the way? I'd like to get down on the floor and like awkward elephant commando crawl to the pressure plate and then just whack it.
Nearest could mage hand it.
I'm committed to this action.
Go for
Okay,
it.
so you're prone. Whack the thing.
Just our
Okay,
wisest
so you press it.
person.
As you whack into it with your grey ham of a fist, smash into this plate, and with that, you hear a snap. The axe swings down. You need to make a dexterity check, it says, but you get advantage because you're prone.
The only time.
So, I'm adding nothing to this, so it's just a straight roll.
Then we'll give it.
17.
Oh,
17.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. We won't dwell on what the other one said.
No advantage. Doesn't
the
matter.
so
There was no other
you-
one. It
you've-
never existed.
You feel that waft of as this heavy piece of metal flies over the top of you and past you, and as you think the coast is clear, you go to get up and you feel your cloak just fall off of you in 2 pieces.
Brutal.
The axe itself is now just kind of it starts to come back, but you move aside and it just dangles.
When Nera sees you, your cape go to sides, and she sees you just go, oh. She comes up, just puts the cloak together, and she goes, mending.
Yes.
Oh, she said
MVP gas mending.
She said it. She just
Straight
said
in
it.
there. And with that, your cloak knits back together. I mean, it takes her a little while because I think was it 1 feet at a time, so she's like doing it in stages, but just gives it back to you.
I would now like say it's the path is clear. I would like to check out these barrels. You said one of them had cheese in.
I did, yes, I did.
Picture you still prone on the floor.
What would you like to do with the barrel of cheese?
I would like to, number one, inspect the cheese to see how mouldy it is.
Good question. Make an investigation check.
It's 20.
20. All right. Looking at the cheese, it looks like a strong Stilton. You're not sure if it was originally a strong Stilton. It looks like one now, and it smells like one too. It's mouldy, got that blue veininess to it.
Does it smell familiar? Have I smelled this maybe at the bar because we were having cheese this morning?
That's a good point.
That's a good point. It's no. Generally, the stuff that you were served at the bar was much more mild and more yellowy, similar to a cheddar.
Sure.
This is a lot stronger. So it doesn't look like it's come from the bar per se. On saying that, it may have been, and you just were never served it because it was down here, for instance. There is another thing that takes your notice, though. Aside from these barrels, as you start like examining the cheese, you kind of look around and you see. On top of one of the other barrels is a leather-bound journal, just in plain view, just on top of this barrel, as well as a thin corked glass vial next to it, full of this opaque yellow liquid. And it glints from the light, really catches your eye. This vial.
I'd like to go and pick both up.
All right.
And I will come back out the cave and say. No, I believe the way is all clear now, but I found these. Does anybody know what this is? And I hold out the vial and slosh it around and so that people can see.
Afraid it's outside my expertise.
Mine too.
Sorry.
Although, hang on.
Can cast detect magic with his eyes?
Yes, you can. That's an invocation thing. So. If I may.
I actually hold both up to his face.
Hey, what was it that we decided last time that he does? There's a noise, isn't it?
No.
Oh yeah.
That's right. It's like
It's like a barcode scanner.
He just goes like full
magic.
Professor Xavier. It's like
magic.
I love that you are part of that generation who, when told about Professor Xavier, immediately defaults to the 90s animated kids cartoon.
I mean, it is the only.
Which is the correct response.
Yes.
There's no other theme song to go
Charles.
So yeah.
I thought actually, just as a note, drink along to the X-Men where Charles and Eric are trigger words is brilliant because it's every other.
Is it brilliant or is it medically dangerous?
It's
is it
brilliant.
inadvisable?
It's brilliant for the first 5 minutes. Sorry, Jack.
That's yes, that potion is definitely magical, all right. It's not something I've seen before, though. I wouldn't really know what to suggest. It's not a healing potion.
I'll say after this, we're heading towards that town. Maybe that general store. Maybe they'll know someone who can identify it. If they maybe even want it wear-wise.
Quite, and I sort of gesticulate at the book as well now.
No, that's just regular leather-bound book. It's quite nice condition.
I doubt it would be trapped if the room was trapped as well.
I would like to. Well, no, I'm torn between 2 things. I would like to hand the book over to Brucon. I have something to attend with in the cave. And I go back to the cave, pick up a couple of pieces of Stilton.
Yep, so you can pick up that Stilton here. You rolled a 20 on your investigation, so when you go back there and you pick up some Stilton, start putting it in your pack. Something else catches your attention. In the northernmost wall, there's a crease in the wall, and on closer inspection, You can see a hinge attached to a bit of the wall.
Oh, hinge.
And there's a cut, and it looks. You can basically see the outline. It's like a carving in the rock. A hinge down one side, or two hinges down one side, and you can see a couple of handholds, like crevices in the rock, down the other line that you can see.
Can I check for traps along the or check to see where it opens up to?
Yeah, okay.
Mallory's just pointing. Hinge.
Yeah, is there a way to check sort of
You can check it for traps. Yeah.
check
Make an
traps.
investigation check.
Too traumatised by the encounter with the spider rat and the giant rats.
11.
Mallow was reduced to just saying
Sort of
nouns.
To be fair, cheese.
That's okay.
Sounds hollow, but doesn't sound
Does
trapped.
everyone see any magic on it?
I feel like this is the protocol now.
As a-
Find a new thing. You check it for traps. He does that.
Yeah, that's good protocol actually.
There is something on the other side of the door. There's something of a.
I'm going to stand where the hinges, so that as it opens up, I'm not standing in full face in case a fireball comes out.
Okay.
So I'm going to try pressing into it, see if it's like a push door, so you push it and it starts to come open.
Nope. And then you can see that from the hinges that it must open the other way.
Do you mean towards me?
You have to
Yes.
pull it
Oh,
open.
sorry. That's what I meant. Like you push in and it sort of like clicks and comes out.
Oh, it doesn't do that. No.
Ah, okay. Can I try and get my dagger into one of the creases to try and see if I can?
Yeah. You could fit your hand in if you wanted to.
Oh, then yeah, I'll just open it. And open it so that the fire will come out.
No, but what you do see, what
Round the door.
you reveal is a much smaller square room. It's thick with dust and cobwebs. There's on the floor are some old robes and sort of moth-eaten bits of clothing, just thrown around the floor haphazardly.
You came here from a pub.
And staring at you, with a trident poised to strike, is a humanoid statue with the lower half of an octopus in kind of priestly-looking robes.
Octopus
It's a
or
statue.
spider?
Octopus legs, human.
Cool. We found
Top
the
half.
den.
It's a murktopus.
We found the den of those that prey to
Octomer.
8 legs.
At the foot of its tentacles are a pile of coins. Can you make a history check? Won't tell you what the DC is.
Doesn't matter. 3.
Okay, there's something fishy about this.
Way.
If he had rolled better on that, would you have not made that punch?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I'm really sorry to humanity.
So looking at it, you're like, there's something in the back of your mind. Can't think of what it is.
It'll click later.
The ancient clothing on the floor is mundane, mouldy, covered in dust. And what you notice is the surface of this statue kind of secretes this, like a mucus, like a darkish mucus from it. And as you're gazing at it, you see some of this mucus.
Increasingly wondering if this
It's
statue
gross.
is in fact a statue.
And in your head, you hear.
It's like you're level 2 and 3.
Hang on a second. Let me go.
Music change.
There's a music change moment. This is very important.
What do you need right now is a mind flare. Okay, what's a mind flare? Picture a mind. Okay, now flay that shit.
Picture of mine. Imagine dropping it into a blender.
Can I say,
and turning on.
for fleeting,
Mhm.
you said the statue looked like it's bleeding? Was it
It's kind of a mucus
Oozing.
kind of
Oozing.
oozing from it.
Would fleeting cast the
Sweating.
divine sense to try and detect evil stuff?
He can if he likes.
He
would, yeah.
Yeah.
I've lost
So,
the bit of music. That's
Statues
so annoying.
oozing and bleeding black stuff?
He does it.
Like, I'll
So
tell
he
you assume that
sense-
everybody has moved
Yeah,
into
he can
this
sense
space.
we've all moved through towards the other room.
Yeah, kind of looking in. You're
well,
the only
on
one
camera.
currently in the
It's
room.
fine.
But so he senses like
You're right.
celestial undead fiends
Hang on a
and
minute.
good and evil within 60 feet.
Yeah. So when he does this, it's not a it's not that for his divine sense. It's just
Becomes an awareness.
Wait, can I interject there? When he's doing divine sense, what it is it's not with the eyes. He has to just focus on any point in space, straight at you, and just.
and so his
You really know
Dan,
Dan
yeah.
really well.
I mean,
So to
already.
be specific, Divine Sense allows you to know the location of celestial fiends and undead within 60 feet, and tell you what type they are.
It's quite.
And good and
Thank
evil
you.
as well,
It's
wasn't
it's quite
You can
unsettling.
sense good and evil or something.
No, not from Divine Sense.
Have you been playing Paladin all this time, Jack?
No, just stuff on Beyond.
So I'd say mechanically he doesn't see anything, but it's quite unsettling when Fleeting stares at you, anyway, because being a
Always.
tiefling, he's got pupilless eyes anyway, so it's quite hard to know exactly where he's looking. But when this happens, I'm gonna have to go for my second option on music. 'Cause I can't find the first one.
You can like smell even good. Smells like heavenly music in your ears.
Smells like heavenly music in your ears.
Evil's odor.
Fleeting shudders. His normal kind of his normally quite placid and
Right. Yeah.
generally
So
unperturbed
sensitive.
demeanour just kind of changes a bit, and he.
That's what the celestial fiend thing is about.
No, and he just walks away. And he just walks away. No. Just goes into another part of it. He just goes and waits by the entrance to this little antechamber.
Oh, I like this chamber more and more.
Where's the anti
You hear, only you hear this kind of sound, this almost slow motion winding, and you hear one voice, the same haunting voice that you heard in your dreams. Yes, very close now.
You've got to start practicing this to yourself first, like. Context.
I know.
I think it's deliberate.
Is this guy Tobias Fionke? Because all the words coming out sound dirty.
It's just me. Everything I say sounds dirty. Anyway. I know who you are.
I totally forgot what he said last time, so I'm just writing it down.
I know who you really are. And you're very close now.
I don't want to say. I feel like in my head, other people in my character's head, everyone can hear this. So I've just opened this door and I'm just going to randomly say into the air, "Who am I?" I was trying to get the right thing. I was like, "No, you think everyone can hear you?"
Neris just looks at you.
That's why I'm looking at the statue in the chamber. Do I hear any response?
You know who you are, and I know who you are. But do you know who I am?
So now everyone's heard me go from saying, "Who am I?" to "Who are you?"
Oh, you know, Seth. You know who I am.
If you were me, then I'd be you.
Come to me, Seth. Join me where you belong.
Can you insight check that?
I guess you can insight check that, yeah.
More for a feeling of like death if I go in.
Stranger danger.
6. Yes, I want to do a
I need an adult.
Stranger danger, yeah. Roll this disembodied voice I'm hearing.
Everything he has said, I am rolling for stranger
Extremely
danger.
strange. Very dangerous.
I got 16.
That's pretty good.
16. This is a malevolent force of some variety.
Okay.
Oh right, okay.
Your insight on this is
Do I want to go in?
this has a presence. It has a malevolent air. It's very old, and your insight tells you that this may have something to do with your heritage
I'm gonna go in.
more than anyone else would understand.
I'm gonna walk in.
Oh, Mr.
You can also-
guidance.
You can also what are you going to do? Sorry, when you go in there.
Can I do an investigation check?
Yeah, sure. Make an investigation check.
17.
Okay, so with 17, do you want to pick up all the treasure at its feet? Do you want to pick it up, or do you just want to see what's there?
See what's there.
See what's there.
Before I start
So
picking stuff up.
Yeah.
So the okay.
Sure.
So
I just start rubbing it on my face.
rubbing some of the mucus off of
What's
the
the- what's the
As I go
coins.
towards them, can I turn and ask Leobrin, Leobrin, what magic did you see before? Because he saw something beyond the door that was magic.
It was a detect magic does school of magic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There was something.
Well, can you tell me like specifically in this room? Because he
Yeah,
can use it whenever he
it
wants.
was something. necrotic, and something else which I don't entirely know.
We're in a pub.
Right, I don't think we're in the pub anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all
I don't
been
think
to
we're
those.
I don't think we're in the
pubs.
pub anymore, Toto.
Cool. So, can you tell me what in this room had the magic on it?
Yeah. Well, the statue itself is a bit, I don't know what, and there is something. There's something small on the floor, amongst all the coins. It looks like it might be a coin, a medallion itself.
Can I search the coins for something that looks different to the others?
You can. So you find. So you sort through the treasure. You find 400 copper pieces, 160 silver pieces,
Treasurer, stop eating peanuts.
eight gold pieces. Okay, no, it's okay. I'll go back. I'll recap that.
But meanwhile, while all this is happening, Brucon's been a bit sort of behind because he's still checking out the chamber. Eventually, the main bit where the rat attack was, he finally gets around to all this, looks around, looks at the statue, and goes, "Oh, I don't think that's on the seesaw at all."
That's very good. You've already got inspiration. Never mind.
Yeah, I'll find an excuse to use it at some stage.
Okay, so 400 copper pieces, 160 silver pieces, 8 gold pieces, and a yellow quartz gem or citrine. It's worth 10 gold pieces. Anyway, you also find within the pockets of one of the discarded robes a medallion has an odd shimmer in the dark as you look at it, and also as you stare at it, you get this overwhelming sense of unease. You had some before from this voice in your head, and just looking at this increases it.
Do I want to? For that sense of unease, does it make me want to drop it? Like, is it a very, very uneven, bad feeling? Like, throw it away from me, or is it?
Make a religion check.
18.
18. Okay. Yeah. 18.
Oh, I've got guidance.
You don't have to use the guidance if you don't want to. You want to save it, but then you can only use it for like what, a minute, isn't it?
A minute, yeah.
Oh, I'll use it because I doubt I'm going to be doing too much more in a minute.
Ooh.
Oh, 22.
22. Okay. This looks like it flashes back before you why this Octomur statue looked familiar to you. The medallion you're holding, it looks to be an emblem of an ancient, a cult perhaps, a group dedicated to an ancient and scary kind of, ancient gods, kind of, under the sea, the one beneath all, tentacles.
I've got under the sea stuck in my head.
Kind of like it's
Deeply thematically.
under the sea. Yeah, so kind of similar to where the original monsters like the Kraken and things like that.
You
it's all
joked
associated.
about Cthulhu!
There we go, yeah.
And it's here! You joked about Cthulhu!
And it happened.
And it's happened!
Well, wasn't my jokes?
Can
a
you
prophecy?
joke about money?
Well, we've got money.
More money.
You recognise that this emblem itself gives a sense of unease. You can't tell if there's anything more to it other than it's kind of it makes you feel uncertain. There's a magical property, but you're not sure whether it would do you ill holding on to it. You do recognise it be worth maybe 15 gold pieces to a collector.
I'll keep it on me.
You just put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
Good.
Do it.
Yeah, it's pretty much the vibe.
That's where we go.
Go.
Ian McDermott.
Cool.
Go full.
I'm going to turn around to...
Career and we've done
Something.
I'm going to turn around to confused faces of why I was talking to myself.
Something.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to turn around to him and say, what do you think he meant?
Oh, what? Who?
The voice.
Mr. Seth, are you feeling quite alright? And just a big hand slaps up onto your forehead, like trying to feel for a temperature.
No, I was picturing like a full preacher. It's like, demon, be gone!
Yeah. I need an old priest and a young priest.
We're going to escalate up to that, just right now.
Yeah. We'll start with the bell, then the book, then the candle.
It's like, I'm fine, but did none of you hear the voice?
Oh, did you hear a voice?
Yes.
We heard your voice.
No,
Was there another one?
The one asking if I knew who I was, saying it knows me.
You.
I assumed everyone heard that.
From that, and I point back at the statue.
From the statue and this, and I'm going to show the medallion.
I would like to look at both of those and see if there's any sense of recognition.
Make a religion check, yeah.
I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but fine.
This is the first time on chat that I've ever fully agreed with Drake Lazarus.
No.
An evil medallion of unknown provenance and effect. Swallow it for safekeeping. And I'm like, yes, I do want it.
9. You're looking at it and you're like, this must be some ancient religion, not one that you're familiar with, certainly not one that's practiced openly these days. This isn't something you would recognise. It's certainly not the Aid.
Not of the Aid. I would be careful around such
8
things.
limbs, maybe, but the 8, no.
Indeed.
As my esteemed colleague said, not part of the whatever.
I'll keep hold of it till we head to the main towns then.
Okay.
This is some weird splinter cult.
If you keep hearing voices, you should let the rest of us know.
I'll let you know. I thought everyone could hear it when we opened the door. I assumed everyone heard it.
Hand just back on the forehead.
How did you? Brucon leans in and goes, then how did you know it was talking to you?
I was the first one in the door.
Sort of leans back.
Interesting.
Guys,
how does that make you feel?
you remember the arachnids? Says Fleeting from his.
I'm getting the
from
voices down.
Yeah.
We might have something else that needs a new name. Just coming this way.
Where is he? Is he there?
He's at the entrance to
So he's
the
at the
antechamber.
Yeah.
Swords
There's,
are drawn.
in fact, there's quite a few.
Neris is.
We should come now. We should go. We should go right now.
Fire's gonna be on Neris's hands. Lights up. She's gonna be like, "Where are they?"
And that's what we're going to end today's session.
Nice.
Thank you, guys.
I think Neris is back next week.
Yeah, I think she might be.
So.
I feel like we've left it an okay spot for her.
One spell slot left?
Oh, she's not gonna like me.
Nope.
You did spaff those spells quite quickly.
You hit me on a crit.
That's true. I mean, that was quite Neris. I'm not disputing that.
Oh yeah,
That was very in
Rat
character.
King direct to face requires a pretty aggressive.
I was wondering if she was going to set fire to it like on her own face and just like take the damage. Just
well, I figured that for.
I feel like she set herself on fire before,
Probably.
at least once.
I feel like for the close range, because she can't use the fire. She was gonna use fire at that. So it was either that or stab it with a dagger. I was like, she'll kill me if I don't fire it.
I'm going to take that Drake Lazarus appreciates also the arachnid. I'm sure Dan will appreciate it when he's back next
He's
time.
gonna love that.
I think we did the three of them justice that weren't here.
I think we actually did.
Yeah.
I think we did alright.
Go team. See,
four people
here in
playing the
spirit.
6. We did okay for
I
that.
apologise for forgetting about Arms of Hadar. On the other hand, I don't apologise that sincerely because it would have fucked the party up.
that would
Absolute treat.
done so much
I think it's about to have use.
And I am sorry to Marta that you've got like one spell slot left, but the situation required them.
So that was session 10. We're sorry.
Not that sorry.
No, we'll be back next week with session 11, same time, same place. But before that, I'll be back on Friday because campaign diaries are back, which means that this time I've got a lot to catch up on because a lot's happened since the last one. I think like 4 sessions, so that should be good fun. So come join me for that. That's Friday, 5 PM here on the channel. Until then, everyone, stay safe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.